Hello, Love Wrestling. Good morning. It is Tuesday, October 29th, 10 a.m. Y'all know what that means by now. It is you see Drew, you see me, and we are here to talk WWE on this edition of Firmly Love Wrestling, Firmly WWE here on Love Wrestling. We already got Sandy, our pal from Germany, in the chat. He's saying today is an hour early for him because of the time change. Yeah, I think we have our time changes on Sunday. We lose an hour over here on the States.
I actually didn't know that other countries do that.
Yeah. Boris is in the chat. Yeah, so I think
Boris.
I think on Sunday we lose an hour. It's going to start getting dark. We're on the East Coast, Drew, so it's going to start getting dark at like 4 in the afternoon. Just
goes back.
So, is that what it goes back? So we gain an hour this time, or we lose an hour?
We gain, I think, because we lose. We go forward when it's getting lighter out, and we go back when it's getting darker out. I think that's what it is.
Oh, that makes sense. Because it gets dark, it gets darker earlier, so we would then go back. Is that what it is?
Right. I think that's pretty much it.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Yeah, you all know why we're here. We have a pay-per-view this Saturday, a PLE. From Saudi.
I'm sorry, I don't. Sandy's asking, "Where's the hat?" I don't know what hat.
Yeah, you wore a hat the other day, didn't you? Not. Well, you weren't on camera last time because you were having camera issues. But I thought, was there a hat that you promised? Did you promise Sandy a hat?
I don't remember.
Oh, so we gain an hour. All right, that works. I knew one of them you gain it, and that's the good one. And the one you lose it is the one where you have to set your alarms and all that stuff because of work and fun things. And you're like, oh, I lose an hour? Great. You'll be, I remember back in my youth, I would be out partying and I would see it go from 2 a.m. It would be 1:59 a.m. and then it would just go to 3. And I would be like, oh, you had the Roman hat on.
Oh.
That's fair. I don't know if it's close, but
it's not. I think it's actually like by the front door. Actually,
we'll talk about it. A Roman hat, like a head of the table hat. Is that what you had?
Yeah, I have an acknowledge me. It says acknowledge me.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I had it here, but I don't.
Yeah. But yes, this Saturday afternoon for us on the East Coast over here, there is a PLE. They are in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. It is Crown Jewel, a 7-match card, which is one of the larger card total matches that we've had. They usually save the 7 for the big events like Mania, SummerSlam. Everything else is usually 5. So I guess they're viewing this as a certain level. Yeah, see, Sandy, it's nighttime over there for you, or at least after approaching end of work time. So we will dive into that. For sure. We will dive into Raw last night. Raw stunk last night. I thought not great for a go-home show. Awful. For a go-home show, awful. For a Raw, oh, God, man. I don't know what's going on with me. Or I think it's what's going on with the wrestling. But, Dynamite last week for me sucked.
Last week,
Raw
I agreed.
Last night.
I didn't agree with you that Raw sucked, and oh no, you didn't think Raw sucked.
I thought Raw was
Dynamite sucked.
I thought Raw was better last. I just think the last couple weeks TV wrestling has been. I thought SmackDown was good. I thought you were there. We'll talk about that. Obviously, I thought SmackDown was good. I didn't think SmackDown was as good as everybody was saying it was. It just had a really cool moment on there. But I thought the show was solid. But I thought last week's Raw was okay. No, like on the AEW side, I thought last week's Dynamite was terrible. And then I thought last night's Raw on the WWE side was not good. Yes, Sandy, I know we don't really discuss NXT here, but Halloween Havoc was incredible. That was a very,
that's
very
right.
good
That was
show.
yesterday.
Yeah, that was a very, very good show.
Sunday.
Sunday, yeah. I thought that was a very, very good show. Easily the best WWE produced show of the last week or so. But that is to be expected. But yeah, NXT Halloween Havoc was very good. I watch NXT, but we talk about it very sparingly here. I'm sure we might talk about it a little bit more on Beards on Thursday. But yeah, if you haven't watched NXT Halloween Havoc, or you have and you want to talk about it, hit me up on the socials because that was a real, real, real good show. And NXT right now, for my money, it's the best thing WWE is doing right now. All right. So we have this PLE. Are we getting into independent? No, that's on independent wrestling that's on the weekends, right? With Pluggo and Blair. That's what they do.
For exposure.
For exposure. They're the independent guys. You can go chat with them. First and foremost, though, before we dive in, I don't want to
wait. He didn't say are we. He said are also WWE getting.
Oh, are they getting into independent?
I just reread that.
I don't know. Are they? Is that a thing? Am I missing? Is there a joke there? Lawrence is usually a witty one. Is there a joke there I'm missing? I don't know. Lawrence doesn't say a lot of things with a serious tone to them. So I don't know if that's like a joke I missed.
I don't know.
Or if I misspelled.
I was on Twitter like an hour ago for a little bit, and then I wasn't.
Oh, the news just broke. Wait a minute.
Oh.
Wait. Are you fucking with me? Uh-oh. Damn. Well, there goes that. Way to go. I'm blaming that one on Lawrence. That's Lawrence's fault.
Yeah.
That all
negative letters, please direct towards
that Lawrence. One's on Lawrence today. Yeah. So I did not see anything about. I mean, I'm not on Twitter a super amount anymore, so they're breaking into independence. It's called WWE ID. I need to look this up.
Oh, okay.
I need to
okay. Sean Ross Sapp tweeted.
Oh yeah. I got it. Yep. So Sean Ross Sapp tweeted, WWE launches new indie wrestling development program. Great. WWE, part of TKO, today announced the launch of its first of its kind developmental program designed to provide up and coming independent wrestlers a pathway to a potential career in WWE. The program will be called WWE ID, short for WWE Independent Development. Quote, this is from Triple H. WWE ID is the latest in our efforts to identify and support the journey of up-and-coming wrestlers, in turn raising the profile of and strengthening the independent wrestling ecosystem. That was the quote from Triple H. It says, following the 2021 launch of WWE's NIL program, WWE ID has been constructed to support independent wrestling prospects and wrestling schools with world-class training, development, and mentorship. Under the program, WWE will provide prominent independent wrestling schools with the WWE ID official designation, with the goal of providing new trainees and existing talent at these select institutions with enhanced development opportunities. Oh, and then they announced so Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, based out of Houston, Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Factory in Atlanta, Seth Rollins' Black and Brave Academy in Davenport, Iowa. Holy shit. Elite Pro Wrestling Training Center in Concord, New Hampshire, not far from me. And Knox X Pro Academy in LA are the first WWE ID independent wrestling schools to earn the official designation. Additionally, WWE ID will identify top independent wrestling prospects with an official WWE ID prospect designation and support their development journey by providing financial opportunity and assisting with training, mentorship, and development, including access to world-class facilities, best-in-class ring training, athletic trainers, and more. WWE ID will give fans the opportunity to follow the path of these standout prospects on the independent wrestling scene through curated, behind-the-scenes content, as well as highlights and matches showcased across the WWE social media platforms. So, looks like they're taking some wrestling schools across the country. Obviously, Cody, Seth, those guys are very easy for WWE to just be like, hey, can we make your wrestling school a WWE official wrestling school now? And they're like, yeah. So to me, I understand okay, again, I need more details in this. To me, it sounds like they've been doing the NILs and grabbing the athletes out of college and training them at the performance center. Obafemi is one of those people, those type of guys and girls that we're seeing. Kalani Jordan, the former women's North American champion. She was a athlete in college, took her the NIL stuff. So like they've been doing that for a while. This to me feels like they want WWE wrestling fans to start seeing these people earlier than when they're a finished product on NXT. Not really a finished product, but you know what I mean. Like imagine we knew Obafemi and we saw social media clips of Obafemi performing in the ring or doing things like 6 months before we saw Obafemi on NXT. And they presented him in a way that the fans would get excited, like, oh, this guy's coming to NXT soon. He's almost, it feels like part of that for me. And then it also feels like they're doing the WWE thing and they're trying to eat up the indies. So.
Yeah, I'm a little conflicted on this because
I know it says I know Triple H said make the independent wrestling scenes eco-shore better. No.
well, first of all, that's what NXT was supposed to be.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we're ruining.
I think NXT has not been a developmental brand. There are people on NXT that could be on the main roster right now that are just specifically.
There are people in NXT that have been on the main roster.
Yes, correct.
Correct. So, yes. Why did we have to talk about this now?
I'm telling you, blame Lawrence for everything.
Yeah. For the, okay. Listen, I promise you that I am not tribalistic. I promise. I've started watching WWE again. I'm doing a WWE podcast. I watch it. I enjoy it for the most part. There are things I definitely don't enjoy, and I say that on this show. There are things I didn't enjoy this week that we're going to also talk about. This feels like that. You remember that plan from like before the pandemic where the global, I forgot what it was called, WWE global thing that Triple H was trying to do, like a NXT like thing in Japan and Mexico, I think it was, or, like 2 or 3 other places. This feels like that, but the American version.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it just feels like when you start talking about how you're going to give independent wrestlers, I would need to know
that trying to harm AEW's business.
I would not just AEW's, but like
and anything like AEW, and
just independent,
also
GCW,
the independent scene, which ceased to exist in Europe when they were doing the NXT UK stuff, because I think I don't remember like fully that whole thing, but I think this is similar to the NXT UK thing where they were doing this type of a thing in Europe, and that pretty much killed all of the indie promotions in Europe because it only became about WWE.
Yeah, all the top people were going to just wrestle, and that's why I need. So if you're an independent wrestler that just started a year ago and you're 20, and you're learning the ropes, and WWE sees you and they go, "Oh, this person has potential. We want to give them this WWE designation thing that shows that, hey, we are interested. This is our person, blah, blah, blah." I need more details. Does that mean that then you can no longer wrestle on the independents and you have to go to one of these wrestling schools that are WWE designated, and you're only going to learn and you're only going to do shit there and you're only going to have shows there? Like to me, it sounds like they're going to go across this country. They're going to find the best independent wrestlers that are not signed to other companies. And they're going to at least give them the offer and be like, okay, here's the deal. We think you have promise. We are interested in you. But if you sign this, you cannot wrestle independently. You will be under our thing at an even lower level than NXT. You will be under our thing. You're going to go to one of these schools, whatever regional one works best for you and your travel shit. Oh, you're in the Northeast. You
This
can go
is
to Concord, New Hampshire.
definitely
You're in the Northeast.
strategic.
100%.
This is, you said it's
one in
Cody's
Houston,
is in
one in
Atlanta.
Atlanta, one in Concord, New Hampshire. There's one up in the Northeast, one in the Southeast, one in Texas.
So yeah, so if we look at a map of
one
the
in
United
California.
States, you've got one over here, you've got one over here, you've got one over here, you've got one over here. Like, you know what? Actually, you know what? It's the WWE territories.
For the most part.
It's like a territory system, but just controlled by WWE.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, so like Seth Rollins, he's had that wrestling school for years and years and years and years. He's had that. Nightmare Factory has been around for years and years and years and years. Now, all of a sudden, these, and notice that press release said that these gyms or these wrestling schools are the first schools to be given that designation, which tells me there's going to be a whole fuck ton of these schools that get designations.
Okay, so for other companies like AEW or other like GCW like companies that are not GCW, but that I just can't think of right now, like those like smaller independents that are more known, like Defy, for example.
Yeah, Defy, Warrior Wrestling, like all these.
What's the one by you? Limitless?
Chaotic. Limitless is up near me too in Maine. Limitless, I know they're kind of shitty because they've had some assholes running their company, but like Beyond is really good. Limitless is really, really good. Chaotic has had like Kofi, Sasha Banks came out of there, Mercedes. Like, so we have a bunch. Concord, New Hampshire, that's a wrestling school in Concord. They're not like a promotion or anything. That's a school.
I have House of Glory.
Yeah. We have like 2 or 3 big time wrestling organizations in the Northeast that like get good praise. Yeah, MLW is a good one, yeah, Sandy. Yeah. That's a great one.
Now the reason why I'm mentioning these is smaller GCW Defy like indies that are kind of like with ITW and you know, that have like deals with like Triller TV, like those types of ones. Does that now mean then that if you wrestled for a Defy or a Chaotic Wrestling, and now you're part of a school of Cody's Nightmare or Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, does that now mean that you're beholden to only Nightmare Factory and Reality of Wrestling and Seth Rollins' school, the Black and Brave Academy? And now it's like, oh, well, now you're just a WWE ID affiliate of this. Well, it's kind of like what you were saying. Like, so now Defy Wrestling calls, and you've had a program with Defy Wrestling for a little bit. Oh, well, no, sorry, I'm part of WWE.
Yeah, that's the vibe that I can't see how a company like WWE would designate an independent wrestler and say, hey, you're one of our WWE ID designates, but then allow that person to go wrestle on the independents week after every weekend, while I feel like WWE would protect that asset.
Which, I mean, it's not like it's far-fetched to say that, because that's what they do and have done.
Yeah.
Now, I'd want to mention their partnership with TNA. Listen, everybody, that was bullshit. Let's just be.
I mean, it did really. TNA selling out. I mean, it wasn't bull. It happened. It happened. It's not bullshit.
No, it's not that it didn't. I'm not saying it was bullshit that it didn't happen. I was saying it was bullshit for TNA.
I mean, TNA sold out their last 2 pay-per-views, and they weren't going to do that before. So I would argue that it wasn't.
I don't think so. Actually, I think that it was because they're going to get Jordan Grace, and they're going to get Joe Hendry. They're gonna
Yeah,
get those.
but I mean, I think it worked out for both. Like again, Slammiversary is not selling out. If
Well,
there isn't a
TNA was getting better this year.
yeah,
I've heard from
I
people
no,
for like the past
yeah,
couple months.
and like the wrestling was always good. It wasn't like it was a bad program, but they weren't selling out things like they've been selling out things since. Like it clearly, yes, there is. Yeah, Jordan Grace, once her contract is up, she will most likely go to WWE. Joe Hendry will be in the Royal Rumble this year, whether he's in TNA still or not. He will be in the Royal Rumble. He eventually probably will be there. I do agree the exchange of talent was way, the top stars of TNA were going over to NXT, whereas although Wesley, I would consider a top star, he was over there because of the Rascal stuff. Like, I feel like it was a good piece of business. It was definitely more WWE heavy, but listen, if WWE is coming to you, TNA or GCW, or obviously it would never happen with ABW, you know what I mean? WWE is they're the bigger kid on the school ground. If they're coming to you and they're saying, hey, we want to do business, are you interested in doing business? You have to assume that WWE is going to get the better hand of this business because they're the bigger, they're the bigger enchilada.
Yes, it's
on
not
the plate.
fair.
You know what I mean?
I
Like
get it, but it's not fair.
Yeah, I just think
Trick Williams could have been on a TNA show.
I agree. I won't disagree with you with that aspect. I'm just not going to say that it was bullshit or it didn't matter because I don't think TNA is doing the business they're doing right now. If that doesn't happen, they'll be fine. They've been around for 20 years. I don't think they're selling out.
I don't think that there's as much crossover as you think there is.
Not anymore. I feel like it's kind of over. Or it's been over for a little bit. I haven't seen much of anything the last little bit, but I'm at the height of it. I think, yes, on our TV screens, it helped WWE away way a lot more than it did. But I think from a business standpoint, from the raising, I don't know. I was at Slammiversary. It sold out. It was a great show. Bound for Glory, obviously, the pay-per-view itself sold out. It was a really good show. I don't know. Would they have been good shows without the business thing? Yeah, TNA has been a good product for a little bit now. But I don't know if they would have sold out those shows and kind of had the success they had if there wasn't a little bit to do with the business arrangement.
We're getting very, very off topic today. But what my closing statement on this is going to be, I don't really like this right now because I don't like. Well, I mean, listen, Triple H is as much of Vince McMahon business-wise, not on other things. I'm not saying on other things. I'm saying business-wise. Definitely a Vince McMahon type of taking over, monopolizing. That is absolutely
he learned
a
from.
thing.
That's who he learned from.
Yeah. So I'm not a fan of this at the moment, unless they refute the you're part of Booker T's reality of wrestling, and now you can still go to Defy, or you can still do whatever. You can actually act as an independent contractor and not be like, oh, well, we've slapped. Hello, my name is WWE ID, and that's your new identity, and you only belong to us, and you can't do anything else for yourself.
Yeah.
If it's not that, then I say, okay, I applaud it, and okay, that's great for. I mean, and as is, I'm not saying that this is inherently negative. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, like the NIL program too, that is a good thing. I pray you can listen. You want to do a little searchy thing on Twitter and look up my name and NIL. I have actually praised the NIL program. I'm not saying that this is inherently bad. I'm saying that for the wrestlers, it's not inherently bad. Because, and especially if you're a wrestler that wants to be in WWE,
if you're aspiring,
you're looking at this and you're going, "Oh my God, this is my opportunity."
Yeah.
So congratulations to you for this opportunity. I'm not saying I don't want to take that away from you at all. It is a negative, however, on places like AEW, places like a GCW or a Defy or a Limitless that haven't needed WWE and have a business relationship or some sort of business relationship where they
Mhm.
have truly independent wrestlers who are allowed under the independent contractor status to go and work other promotions,
Mhm.
and they have partnered with each other. More prominent names I can think of are like Kevin Blackwood. Kevin Blackwood is all over the place.
Mhm.
Or I mean, God, the list goes on. Effie's whole thing with GCW and other promotions that
Mhm.
he does that stuff with. There's the only reason why all of the promotions that we mentioned are able to exist is because there isn't one main company dictating all of the terms
Mhm.
and saying what can and can't be done. They are independent, allowed to do whatever they decide that they want to do.
Mhm.
Defy does what Defy wants. Limitless does what Limitless wants. Chaotic does Chaotic. MLW does MLW. There is no MLW, Defy, Limitless, Chaotic, House of Glory, presented by WWE.
Mm.
They are all their own thing. They all do their own stuff. They have good stories. They have good wrestlers. Wrestlers are allowed to go anywhere they want.
Yeah, I think it'll be more on the wrestlers than it will be on the companies. It will affect the companies, but I don't think the company like Limitless will still be able to be Limitless. Now, there might be 5 or 6 people that regularly wrestle for Limitless that might go, "Yeah, I kinda wanna go to the WWE. That's my lifelong goal, so I'm gonna go be this guy, and I'm not gonna be able to wrestle for your company anymore."
Right. And that will hurt their
That
business.
will hurt Limitless, yes, but I think as far as, like, Limitless having to or, like, these pl I don't think these places are gonna unless they become themselves, who knows? Maybe some of the people that are running these companies might go, "Oh, I have a chance to go work
Oh,
for
well, yeah,
WWE or
there's
be
that
under
too.
the WWE umbrella." Okay, again, I'm not going to mention a company by name, but there could be somebody running one of these upper tier, independent wrestling places, no matter where it is, and they could go, "Oh, will WWE come help my company? Will WWE come give me resources to help me run my shows better? Even though I might have to do it a certain way or might have to align myself with them. Hey, I'm promoter X who's running a fun wrestling, but it costs a lot of money and it's not a lot of overhead and we're not getting a lot of profit. And, I wish I could do more things if I had more money. Oh, let me talk about this WWE stuff. Oh, you're going to give me resources to have more resources to do better shows so you can see the talent you're interested in on my thing more. And, I feel like this could be, yeah.
The
Again, I
thing
need,
that gets me about it the most,
yeah.
because I'm so and listen, I haven't been personally affected by any business
No, it's
transaction
wrestling.
that
Yeah,
WWE
of
has ever
course, it's
done, so
wrestling.
I'm not saying that I take this personally. I
Yeah.
absolutely do not take this personally. But the what I have negatively felt about WWE is they're monopolizing, and this feels like that right now. It feels like it's, "Oh, hey, we have NXT that we're kind of trying to make a
Oh, yeah.
thing traveling again, and then we have I mean, because well, now we have these other schools, the Seth Rollins one and the Cody
Yeah.
Rhodes one, and so on. So now we're trying to, reinvent the territory system in WWE's image, and stories have come out of like the reason why I'm never going to see
Yeah.
AEW at the Barclays Center like I saw SmackDown at the Barclays Center on Friday or Raw a few months ago is because the Barclays Center has exclusivity with WWE. lot of
AEW would have to raise their game a whole lot more before they want to get to a place like Barclays. Let's be real. But
I
like,
don't think so.
well,
I mean, okay,
they
listen,
can't even
I'll say
sell out
right now,
3,000 tickets to a regular Dynamite, Drew. They ain't
right
doing
now,
anything
yeah.
at Barclays. Yeah.
3 years ago,
Yeah, at their height. Yeah, you could have done the first Grand Slam at Barclays and it would have worked. Obviously, you would have had a sold out arena.
but my point is that nothing else can go to the Barclays.
Oh yeah, because of exclusivity. Yeah,
The exclusivity part.
WWE's
So,
probably going to end up doing. I'm surprised they don't do that with more places already. If they went to the TD Garden in Boston, WWE, and they were like, "Hey, we want to sign an exclusivity contract with you. We'll come here twice a year." Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's what it is. It will limit the pool. Yeah, that at the end of the day, that I don't think they're trying to put other companies out of business. Maybe AEW, because Tony and the company spent the first 2 years talking a lot of shit. So maybe that kind of stuck with Triple H, and Triple H in the back of his head is like, I'm going to take you under at one point because you were spouting by the mouth when you shouldn't have been. But it's one of those things where it's just
they were doing it on camera. WWE was doing it off camera.
Exactly.
It's not like they weren't doing it.
Trust
Also,
me, I ate that shit.
The whole reason why NXT was on TV
was
because of AEW.
100%. And like, I eat that shit up. I want the companies to be talking crap about each other. But when you're a competitive person, someone like a Triple H, that might stick, some people over on the other side might not forget, again, but I feel like at the end of the day, I don't feel like WWE.
And by the way, the WWE champion was part of that in the beginning.
He was. Yeah, like I need more details. It literally just came out like as we were coming on air. Thank you, Lawrence, for making us aware
ruining
of it.
the show for me today.
We got like a half hour out of it. But to me, it feels like it's more of the Ophelia thing. Is they're trying to. It's more of a talent-based move as opposed to a, hey, we need to ruin other companies' move. That's the vibe I'm getting early on. Hey, we need to eat up some more talent because I think what they're seeing is they have a lot of people right now in NXT that are ready to be on the main roster. Big time. There's rumor that Obafemi is up to the main roster. There were rumors that he might have even was going to debut last night on Raw. So they have acts and people down there like Ethan Page immediately should be on the main roster. Immediately.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Obafemi is a guy would work on the main roster right now.
Mm-hmm.
Metaphor, that whole group. I know we've been seeing the tag team, the girls up here the last couple weeks. That whole act could work on the main roster. Chase U absolutely could work on the main roster. Trick Williams, another one. He gets whooped that trick chance when they show him in the crowd, Drew.
Yeah.
Like immediate main roster guy. Fatal Influence, that group that they just made with two of the girls. Fallon just won the NXT North American Women's Championship, so they're not going anywhere, but that group could be on the main roster. Like, there's so many talents on NXT that could be on the main roster right now, but if they leave NXT, there's not a lot of people down there to fill those voids. And I think WWE doing something like this not only the NILs and all that stuff, the fact that they're doing independent wrestlers tells me that they like what they're getting from the NIL deals and stuff like that they do, but they need to get more people that know how to wrestle walking through the door. They might not know how to wrestle great. They might not know how to wrestle the WWE style, but they don't have to teach them how to wrestle. Whereas these NIL people, yes, you're seeing an athlete and you're going, oh man, there's a lot of promise in this athlete. Kalani Jordan, Bianca Bella, these type of athletes. There's a lot of promise in these people, but we have to not only teach them how to be WWE superstars, we need to teach them from the ground level how to wrestle. And I think if you start going after independent wrestlers, you do not need to teach them how to wrestle. You just need to teach them how to wrestle the WWE way, which is probably a lot quicker and a lot easier to do than teaching someone from the ground up of how to just take a bump. Yeah, right. Sean has been an advocate. I think JC Jane, that whole group to me, JC Jane was somebody that even in the last group she was in with Mandy Rose and Gigi, I thought they were main roster ready, and I thought she can talk, she can go. They got a lot of people down there in NXT that, and you get
it's this, and I as much as I like Triple H now and like what he's done for WWE in the past 2 years, I am absolutely going to shit him for something yesterday. But for the most part, I have like appreciated and come to like again him for doing a lot of the stuff that he's done for WWE the past 2 years.
Oh yeah.
The way that he treated NXT before he took over was really shitty to me.
Wait,
It was really shitty to me.
the way he treated it. If
Yeah.
he's the guy that's in, what do you mean? I need
No,
that to be explained to me.
When he talked, I don't remember who he was talking to. I know maybe it was Ariel Helwani, and basically put down NXT to spite AEW and called it a developmental program just because AEW was able to beat it in the ratings for however long it was, the Wednesday Night War.
Oh yeah,
That was scummy to me.
I mean, it is a
I was like,
they've
you
never hit from the,
yourself don't believe the words that are coming out of your mouth right now.
maybe they've always said that NXT was a developmental program.
Mm,
They've always said that. That has never changed.
Not really.
I mean, as far as I can
In the
remember,
height of NXT,
well, the height of it, yeah, Triple H would be like, yeah, we're a third brand and we're this and that, like, because they tried to make it a third brand. They could have, but that was really Vince saying no, and that wasn't like that. Vince killed
yeah,
that.
but
It
now
wasn't,
that Vince is out of the picture,
and
I believe it was like right in that middle period of Vince not being fully gone yet. But Triple H was already kind of taking over the creative and stuff.
had it already become 2.0? This was already past 2.0 and all that stuff.
This was like in the middle to end of 2.0. This was like 2022.
So that to me then, that Triple H comment, that I need to know, because if it's 2.0 era, Triple H is obviously going to talk shit about it because that wasn't his idea. That was Vince who took that over.
It was
and said,
definitely,
this is mine now.
It was definitely post 2.0 creative.
Yeah. So like I feel like Triple H was saying that, like you're right to kind of demean AEW beating them. Duh. But I think he was also saying that because that wasn't the Triple H NXT. That wasn't his baby. That was taken from him and ruined. And now, in the last year and a half,
but remember,
he's brought it back to,
hold on though. While I agree with what you're saying, we have to take in the facts. That was not 2.0 that started going head to head with Dynamite. That was Triple H's NXT.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it wasn't. It wasn't.
It was.
Yeah,
it was for a while, for like a good 7 or 8 months, until Triple H was removed from that, and then it became 2.0.
Yeah. Again, that was it's not. I agree, but it wasn't like that wasn't the height of the triple. That was the end game. Like there was, you had Karrion Kross running down there as the main guy. That wasn't the Finn Balor, Shinsuke, Sam. Like that wasn't the, And it was just kind of that's when Vince was like, I'm gonna take all your best guys and do nothing with them up here. Like Vince was systematically trying to ruin NXT for like 2 years before he actually ruined NXT. Like that wasn't like Vince woke up one day and was like, hey, Triple H. It was like, I'm systematically trying to ruin NXT because you guys routinely show up my main roster all the time because you know how to run a wrestling company and I don't. That was what was going on there. And then it turned into, I don't even want to talk about 2.0. I do think 2.0 gets looked back on way more negatively than it should, but it was not good. It was not good. But people look at it like it's WCW 2001. Like, let's relax. We're not there.
Oh, yeah.
2.0 wasn't that, but it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough. But
it ruined NXT for me.
Oh, really, for sure.
For the most part. And for a lot of people.
They've done a great job in making NXT matter again, because those PLEs are some of the best shows they do routinely now. Like, if there's a PLE on a WWE pay-per-view weekend, the PLE, we're back to the point now where for the last 3 or 4 times, NXT is outperforming the main roster every weekend. Like that's what we're back at now. So the
I think
weekly,
Shawn Michaels are doing a phenomenal job.
yeah, and he's and look at him and Triple H. I assume because of their friendship, are like you can see the correlation, you can see the continuity, you can see we've had Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson on our main roster television shows for the last 2 weeks. Lash Legend is beating Piper Niven on SmackDown clean,
yeah,
and stuff. Like they're on the pay-per-view. They get to travel to Saudi Arabia and be a part of this 4-way women's tag. Like that's unreal. That's unreal stuff. You know,
never would have happened under Vince.
No. They showed Trick Williams in the crowd with the NXT title. He's getting cheers and whoop that Trick chant. Like that stuff didn't happen. It just didn't happen back then. So I feel like it's more in line with everything.
I like that WWE has broken out of the Vince McMahon mold.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
When it comes to acknowledging other promotions, acknowledging actual wrestling history instead of just WWE's history. But don't then also do this type of stuff that's like, oh, well, you know, everything is going to belong to WWE in the end.
I mean, that's just
everyone is going to belong to WWE in the end. It's like, okay, it's 2024. We don't have to be doing that.
That's what this whole country is built on, is giant corporations taking over everything. That's what the whole country's built on, that stuff. I'm not saying it's right. I hate it. But like, this is not a shot at a giant.
I'm not saying that they can't.
A giant corporation is trying to make more money and do more things to kill other small corporations. That is literally what everything is built on. Like, it's terrible.
That's America.
Yeah. So you can't get angry for them wanting to. I mean, you can, because it's a shitty thing to do. But like, you can't be shocked that they're fucking.
I'm not shocked at all.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Not. Like, this is just the way things work around here. Oh, you're a small coffee shop that just opened around the corner from my Starbucks? Okay. Well, in 2 years, I'm going to buy that lot from you because I'm going to murder you to the ground because I'm Starbucks and you're Joe's Coffee. You don't have a chance, buddy. And that's how it goes. It's sad, but that's how capitalism, babes. Make sure you vote next Tuesday. All right, let's move on. We had one more week of. Listen, I've exited it all out. We're not even starting to talk about this. I've exited. I'm just one more week until I don't have to see these commercial ads. Every other commercial. That's what I care about the most. All right, I already know what I'm doing next Tuesday. I don't need to be swayed. I already know what I'm doing. All right. I don't care. I don't care what you're telling me. I don't care. I already know what I'm doing. All right. Whatever. But I am sick of the radio ads, the TV ads. I live in Massachusetts. Why do I care about a governor in Vermont? Why am I seeing a commercial about the governor's Yeah, it does. I'm actually going after this show today. Why? Like, that's the stuff. I'm getting commercials about New Hampshire. I don't give a shit about New Hampshire. I don't live in New Hampshire. The hell do I care about their friggin' race? Don't care at all.
Yeah, I get maybe like 2 or 3 texts a day at this point.
It's just like, that's the stuff. I'm like, we go to a commercial in Raw. Fucking before we get back, there's 5 political ads. I'm just like, I don't got time for it.
Speaking of Raw, we're 45 minutes in. Let's fucking talk about it.
I mean, we don't really need to because it sucked. It sucked. But let's talk about. Okay, we're gonna jump around. We're going to jump
We absolutely do not need to go in order.
No, because we have the pay-per-view. So I feel like we'll just talk about the matches of the pay-per. One thing I do want to talk about, though, first, I know we usually start with Raw, but obviously all this news and stuff, whatever. My thing is on Friday night, Drew, the Motor City Machine Guns became the new WWE Tag Team Champions.
So I went to SmackDown.
Yeah.
I was in the Barclays Center. It was 20 minutes away from my house. What a lovely travel that is, instead of having to travel
I bet
anywhere else.
I bet.
So they did something I did not expect. I mean, Motor City Machine Guns, I didn't expect that, but also so what they ended up doing I don't know if you've ever been to a double taping before.
I have before.
So unbeknownst to me, while I knew that it was double taping, I'm thinking, okay, so the show starts at 8, and then maybe like 30 minutes, 45 minutes before, maybe an hour. They'll do like 1 hour of SmackDown of the next week, and then the following hour
In
after they'll.
my experiences with WWE, it's always after. They do the whole thing after.
Well,
unless they changed it up. But that was my prior experience.
Let me tell
for
you
any
what
tapings.
happens.
Yeah.
So I get there at about 6:15-ish or so. So I'm online. I'm waiting to go. I get in the building. By the way, I have a picture here I have to show you because I need to plead with WWE for a second. So I was standing in front of the merch thing when you walk. So you walk into the Barclays Center, and then they have this big merch table set up right when you walk in, and you go to your seats in the opposite area. I was on the phone. It was 7:00, and I know this exactly for a specific reason. It was 7:00, and I'm talking with some people on the phone, and I look up, and I'm looking at the merch stand, and then I see this shirt. Okay, this shirt that it's a solo, not solo. It's a Jacob Fatu shirt. Says "I love you, Brooklyn."
Yeah,
like how he does behind Solo when he says "I love you, Solo" and everything. I was like, oh my god, that shirt's really awesome. I want to buy that. Then Randy Orton's music hits. I'm like, why is Randy Orton's music hitting? It's 7:00. Doesn't make sense. But I'm like, oh, so something must be going on. So let me go and see what's going on. Turns out they started the show a whole hour early. So what they did was they
started SmackDown early.
Yeah.
So at 8:00 when it came live, that shit had already happened.
Yeah.
Got it. That makes sense.
So they shot it. So it was like aired to tape.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So they shot it an hour early.
Oh. It didn't say that on the
everything that you saw, I had already seen an hour prior.
Oh. That's smart. Because I was trying to think, like, obviously when you're taping, you're not going to have commercials you have to worry about. You can just kind of bang, bang, bang once the live show's over, and then they'll add the commercial kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that makes sense because that means by the time that SmackDown was over for me, you were already probably almost done the taping. For the most
we were
part.
into
probably went to like 11 or so. You know, I would guess 11.
Yeah.
11
so it went into a little bit. And I didn't stay for the whole thing.
Yeah.
But it went in. So when the show was over. On TV at 10:00.
Yeah.
They had already been shooting for the next SmackDown for about 35, 40 minutes.
That makes sense. All right. So, Drew, what we saw, which I didn't expect them to go.
Oh, so yeah. So my plea for WWE, by the way, I'm going to put the shirt back up on my camera. So I went because the show started early. And I didn't get to go buy this shirt. They then sold out of the shirt because I didn't get to go and buy it. I went back to the merch stand in between. I think it was like over an hour later.
Yeah.
The shirt was sold out. I was like, no, I wanted that shirt. And it hurts me. It still hurts me.
Well,
5 days later.
I will say
please put that shirt on the shop or somewhere where I can buy it. Please.
What I will say to WWE is stop selling that fucking shirt. He's a bad guy.
Anyway. No, don't stop selling the shirt.
No. You want to sell Jacob Fatu stuff? Yeah, that's fine. You don't sell pandering for the idiots that show up and go, oh my God, my city name is on there. I need a he's a bad guy. I'm not calling you an idiot. I mean, that is a pandering shirt. I would never buy a shirt like that. Like the Suplex City Boston. Get out of here. It's for kids.
Hey, I had that too.
Hey, I'm sorry. Hey, sorry. I'm not a shill. Drew.
Listen, I think the last 40 minutes of this show proves that I'm not a shill either.
Hey, I'm just saying. My thing is Jacob Fatu's a bad guy. You're supposed to be booing him. How you want to sell Jacob Fatu shirts? That's fine. People like heels. I don't like them having a heel having a shirt that fucking is for every different city.
Roman Reigns for years too.
Roman is a different. That's a different caliber of stop it. You know what I mean? Like he's a heel. He's not supposed to be the guy that has the every town shirt. That's supposed to be your biggest good guy that does stuff like that. Come on. What are we doing?
Just appease me, please, WWE.
Send
Just put
Drew
the
a
shirt.
shirt. Oh, he wants the shirt. Just send Drew the
I
shirt.
want the shirt. Give me the
If
shirt.
anybody's watching, which I know they send Drew the shirt.
This one.
I
Send me
wasn't
this one.
I wasn't
Let me buy it.
expecting I wasn't expecting them, unless they announced it and I completely missed it, but I wasn't expecting them like the way they did it. Because obviously we had the DIY versus Motor City Machine Guns #1 contender, like the match, which
Yeah.
was a very good match. And Motor City Machine Guns pulled out the victory. Although I will say they did tease a little bit some stuff in that match about maybe DIY
Yeah.
not
For the 7,000th time.
Hey, I would run the whole. I want them to run the whole story the way they told it in NXT up here. The whole thing, just the way they told it. Don't change a thing. It was the greatest story ever told in NXT. But so that happens. Nick Aldis. So then we come back from commercial, at least the way that I saw it, Drew. We come back from commercial. Nick Aldis. So Motor City Machine Guns win the #1 contenders thing. Bloodline comes out. Then we go to commercial. We come back from commercial. Nick Aldis is then standing in the ring with both teams.
There was already talking happening in the commercial, by the way.
Okay. So Solo says it's all good. They're not here to fight tonight. He just wanted to introduce himself, or they wanted to introduce themselves to the #1 contenders. Chris Sabin then is just like, he says like, it's an honor to meet you. Let me introduce ourselves, blah, 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 blah. And he said, we're ready to go any place, anytime. And I thought Solo was fucking hilarious.
Oh my God. The crowd popped.
I thought Solo, listen, they've kind of added, because I know, and I put a tweet about it, but like a lot of people shit on Solo, and some of it is deserved. I think some of it is way over the top, how much people shit on this guy.
Yeah.
But I get it. But they've added a little bit of like comedy to his character here the last couple weeks. Like he's been more of a smartass and more of a, he's like fake smiling and like doing shit. Like he's doing more things like that. And I think it's helped him a lot. Yeah.
Like he was helped faking. Yeah.
It is helped the character, because I feel like he was just trying to be out there as that like statuesque Roman, like, and it's like, that's not, no. And it just wasn't working. But them adding this little element of him being a goofball.
2 weeks ago, he imitated Jay, I think.
Yes.
And they got a reaction.
When he showed up on Raw, the way he was like I got 2 tickets. Like the way he was like flamboyant, like over the top flamboyancy to it. It was just kind of like, it's done wonders for his character for me, I think.
Yeah, and me
I think it's working. So he kind of makes fun of Sabin, which was hysterical. And then Nick Aldis just steps in and he goes, I'm not going to let Motor City Machine Guns get a tag title match at anything less than 100%. And then Alex Shelley goes, no. He goes, the titles are that important. Like, we're ready to go right now. Like, we'll go right now tonight. Like, we're ready. And then they make the match. So we go right. They had just had a match, a good match against DIY. They come out the victors, and then we are going right into it. We have the tag match, Bloodline, Guerrillas of Destiny versus Motor City Machine Guns, and when you think about that for a second, the main event of SmackDown for the WWE Tag Team Championships were literally the Guerrillas of Destiny versus the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah.
Rewind 5 years ago, guys. That match would be happening at fucking Wrestle Kingdom or something. That's the type of that, or it would be happening, this main event at SmackDown, which is insane. And just kind of like a surreal thing for long-time wrestling fans. But anyway, they have this match. Really, really good match. Exciting match. Obviously, chaos ensues. Jacob Fatu and Solo are out there. Jimmy Uso, Big Jim, whatever you want me to call him. He comes out from underneath the ring. He attacks some people. Roman is kind of involved. And then all of a sudden we see another hooded figure come out of the crowd and super kicking people. We know immediately it's Jay. The Bloodline screwed Jay on Raw last week for the IC title. He gets in the ring. He hits everybody with everything. He takes off the hoodie. It's Jay. Massive pop for Jay. Massive.
It was
like loud. Just massive. And that leads to Skull and Bones on Tama Tonga and Motor City Machine Guns. 1, 2, 3 are your new WWE tag team champions.
People were
Incredible.
concerned about Motor City Machine Guns last week or 2 weeks ago,
On the
where
debut?
and on their debuts that it
Yeah.
seemed like they didn't get like a reaction
By the end of
as
the match,
much
they
as
did,
people
though.
would have wanted them to. I saw that like out
Yeah,
in
oh
the
yeah. You know, the
Twitterverse and
pop
stuff.
when they came out was not that existent, but by the end of that match, when they got the pinfall victory, the crowd popped for the win. Like they won the crowd over.
Yeah.
So
So so then on SmackDown last week, I think Brooklyn did them a real good service because they got really massively cheered, and then for winning against DIY, and then when they won the tag titles, the place went ballistic
yeah.
for them. So I think that's the exact reaction that you want a team to have.
Yeah.
Especially as Scott said,
Well, I was gonna
the
say,
third match.
I know you said you think Brooklyn did them a good service. WWE did them a good service. Because they have come in and in 3 matches, 2 in 1 night. So basically in 2 weeks of television. Because they just debuted not last Friday, you know, they debuted the week before.
Yeah, it's
So
crazy.
in 2 weeks of television, these guys went from debuting to winning the tag team championships on the main event of SmackDown in 2 weeks. 2 shows.
That's got to be the longest time ever for.
Quickest. You mean quickest?
I mean, quickest. Yeah, the quickest time ever.
It has to be up there. Well, Santino won the IC belt in his first match. Did he know? That's one I remember. He debuted right at the crowd, right? Didn't he?
Did he win a belt then?
I think he won the IC belt his first. Yeah, that was the first time he came right out of the crowd and won the IC belt. I thought, right? It's a long time ago. But I'm pretty sure when Santino debuted, so way back, he was in the crowd, and the IC champion at the time, who I don't even remember who it was, Chris Masters, maybe? I don't remember. But whoever the IC champion was, challenged him because he was out of the crowd and supposed to be a regular dude. And I thought Santino won the IC title his first night out of the crowd. Pretty sure that happened.
Umaga was the
he beat Umaga?
Yeah.
Wow, that's even more impressive.
With help from Bobby Lashley.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. I thought it was like some like Umaga was. Okay. But anyway. Yeah, so that Brooklyn crowd treated Motor City Machine Guns like I think everybody was expecting them to get treated upon arrival. But WWE clearly backing Motor City Machine Guns as they are immediately the new tag team champions. So very cool for them. That picture that they showed in the back with Triple H kind of in the middle of them holding the belts, like that's just surreal. That is like surreal shit. Like unbelievable. But I did want to talk about that. Obviously, I thought SmackDown as a whole was I thought it was a much better show than Raw. But I thought it was pretty solid. There was one thing on SmackDown though, Drew.
The hug.
I gotta say I hated. No, well, okay, well, yeah, let's talk about that because that happened right after. Okay. So Motor City Machine Guns win the belts. Thanks to the Bloodline. Thanks for helping the Bloodline. Yep. Motor City Machine Guns get their moment. They get to celebrate. Crowd's going nuts. They leave. We then get the moment where Jay's in the ring. Jimmy comes out. Well, Jimmy's down there, but Jimmy gets in the ring. They have a little stare down, and then they hug. Crowd goes nuts when they hug, and then Roman comes out and just kind of stands near the entryway, and he's just kind of broodingly looking because Roman knows he has some work to do to get Jay on his side.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what happened there. Now, I get it. Great moment, Drew. Crowd's going nuts. It's a cool moment. I didn't like it. Now, well, first of all,
what?
Let me refrain. It's not that I didn't like it. I like the fact that the Bloodline's getting together. 2 weeks ago on Raw, Jimmy Uso showed up. Jay wanted nothing to do with him. Said, "Get out of my face. I'm not talking to you." Literally ignored him the whole night.
Right.
The following SmackDown, Jay then just shows up on SmackDown and he's dapping up Jimmy in the back. High five. There's been no communication for my wrestling fan eyes besides the fact that Jay told this guy to go screw 4 days ago. And now all of a sudden they're buddy. And they're high-fiving with no other. Jimmy didn't have to fucking talk to him anymore. Jay just left angry, leave me alone. And now 4 days later, they're best friends, fucking handshaking on SmackDown. Now he still gave Roman.
I wouldn't say that they were.
He
Like,
in
it didn't
that
feel like they were best friends.
No, but in that backstage segment, when Jay walked up, when Jimmy and Roman arrived, and Jay walked up, Jay immediately walked up and handshaked and gave Jimmy daps and gave him a bro hug. Immediate. And then he looked at Roman.
Oh, yeah.
And Roman said, we're proud of you. And he went, no yeet. And he left. Got no problem with the Roman side of it. What the fuck happened in 3 days? Because on Raw, Jay wanted nothing to do with Jimmy. Nothing. 3 days, he's giving him a fucking hug. I know they're brothers. I get it. I'm talking in the storyline. Then we fast forward to Monday. Bloodline comes out, screws Jay. Roman and Jimmy, nowhere to be fucking found. Nowhere to be found, Jimmy. Your brother gets screwed, loses the IC title. Fast forward 4 more days later. Still no online promos, no talking, no nothing. They're fucking hugging at the end of the show? What? Where was the reconciliation? Besides the fact that they're brothers. Because you didn't show any of that to me. You showed me Jay telling his brother to go fuck himself. And then 2 weeks later, they're hugging with no progression in the story at all. I don't like it.
Well, okay. So I will agree that that is.
I don't really care that much. I don't know why I yelled. But I don't know why I got so heated there. I really don't. Like, in the scheme of things, it doesn't bother me that much. But that, to me, that's just like, now the Roman side of it, I get. Roman needs to win Jay back. And then we're going to get into the Sammy side of it because that started last night, the Sammy side of where they're going. I love pancakes, bro. But that, to me, that was just like, how the no.
So I that should be on a t-shirt. I think that judging from now, obviously it's out of order, so I can't. I already know what happens on SmackDown.
I mean, we're going to talk about the pay-per-view card, and there was a match added involving some of these individuals, so I assume something happened on SmackDown.
So yeah, that I also thought was strange that they announced that match before they do the segment on Friday. On Friday.
You know what's even stranger? You know what's even stranger is last night they did a double taping of Raw because they're not going to be live next Monday,
right?
Because after Saudi they're going to Europe. So that means that those people that were at that show last night, they already know what the fuck's going to happen on Saturday.
I didn't see what happened on Raw.
I didn't either. I'm going to avoid it. I don't watch. I haven't even seen what happens on SmackDown. I obviously know there was a match made, but like other than that, I avoid that stuff. I try to avoid that stuff. I don't really read into it, so I don't know anything. But I was like, so you're telling me that those people, like last night on Raw, they saw the go home show to the pay-per-view, and then during the taping, you had to tell them who won some of the matches? It was weird. So those people are going to be walking around for 5 days being like, I fucking know what's going to happen on Saturday.
Yeah.
And it's weird. But anyway.
That is weird, yeah. But yeah, so I'll say for the Bloodline segment at least on Friday, I'll just describe it in one word.
Yeet. Yeah.
Yeet.
Look at the Bloodline story is picking up. It's really good. It's back. Yeah. It's picking up. And I know they're brothers. I know there's a long history. Dude, I can't see you telling him to go screw and then hugging him within you. What? You don't just get there without progression. I don't know. Bothered me. It bothered me.
So what I was going to say about regarding to things being kind of like out of order is the promo that Jay cut to Sammy on Raw last night, I think kind of tells you Jay's mindset on it a little bit. Because
Yeah,
he
I get it.
said, you know,
Yeah, you're not family.
family
You
thing.
don't understand because you're not family.
So he's kind of taking that Jimmy is his brother, and he's not. I don't think that it's not like a lovey, oh, you're my brother, I love you thing at the moment. I think it's gonna work into that, but it's like acknowledgement of the family, and we need to step up to a threat in the family.
Mm.
So I have to, you know.
I just,
I agree. It probably there shouldn't have been a dap up and a friggin' hug
I
and all that
just, I,
stuff, But
if you're angry at the dude, be angry at the dude. Be angry at the dude. Let
he
that
is
guy,
selling his anger to Roman well, though.
which is
However,
fine, and I have no problem with that. And I still
and you'll see
think,
that on Friday as well.
yeah, and I still think, and we'll see how it goes on Friday. But I think Roman, and I've been very adamant about this when it comes specifically to Jay and to Sammy. Even though I feel like they're going a different way with the Sammy thing, I think that's going to be more between Sammy and Jay than Sammy and Roman. But I think Roman needs to be the one that apologizes to both of those guys. You can't have Jimmy do your dirty work for you. You're the fucking guy. You were the head of the table. You were the guy.
But the thing that you're
Jay
going
to
to
come
see on
back and being
Friday,
your
though,
guy. You need to be the one, Roman, to be the bigger man and apologize and say you fucked up.
I think I see what's happening, but I don't want to say it because it could kind of spoil Friday.
That's fine.
So,
That's fine.
what I will say is that I no longer think Roman needs to apologize to Jay.
Okay. Well, I will see after what we see on Friday.
What you see on Friday,
I think Roman
will
needs
kind of
to
be the acknowledgement that Jay needed without it being what you just said.
That's fine. I still think Roman should apologize.
But when it comes to Sammy, however,
Roman
now
should
what I
apologize.
think is happening is in specifically in regards to Sammy,
Mhm.
judging from what happened on Raw last night, I think it's going to be Roman that does that one.
He needs to.
Because Jimmy tried, Jay, but didn't really try yet, but he's the one that started the conversation.
Mhm.
So Roman, I think, is going to be the one to have to talk to Sammy.
Yeah.
And hopefully, because listen, I'm happy with the story right now, but I'm not happy with Roman's part of the story for the most part.
Roman hasn't changed who he is at all.
He hasn't,
And I think,
and everybody's cheering him, and
yes,
rightfully so.
yes,
But
he needs to
his
change.
character,
Yes.
like I'm telling you now, the hand thing for the microphone is bullshit. That should not be a thing anymore. And
That's his
anybody,
thing for all time, Drew. I don't think that's changing ever.
but with the person that you were doing that with, fine.
Yeah.
No one else should be handing him a microphone when he goes like this.
It's fair.
No one should be doing that except that guy. When Nick Aldis fucking did it, I was like, are you kidding me?
That's fair.
That guy should be like, get your own microphone, pal. What the hell are you? What is this? That's like whenever, even as a babyface, and I found this really stupid when she did this as a babyface too. The whole like I'm the queen, the Charlotte thing, where she comes down to the ring, and then the referee or the whomever is in the ring has to hold the rope for her.
Yeah.
When no other woman gets that treatment.
Well, that's just she's the queen. That makes sense.
Yeah.
She's the queen. I like that stuff. That stuff separates people from
me. I think that's stupid. That's a heel thing, 100%.
Yeah.
But you don't do that as a babyface also.
Yeah, you're the queen. She's the queen. She's Charlotte. She's better than everybody else. You get better treatment.
So then Roman's fine then, according to you.
No, see, my thing.
He's the tribal chief. He's the head of the table.
My thing with Roman is I don't care about that. To me, that's minuscule. That doesn't matter to me at all. Like that's not even a thing that registers in my mind that I care about. What I care about is when he's talking, he goes, I want, the $1 million paydays, and I want the nice cars, and I want
that
this,
doesn't
and I
help
want.
either, yeah.
I'm sitting here going like that. How the fuck does the regular fuck that goes to job Monday through? You're a bad guy. So when you say that stuff, that works because you're a bad guy. If you're a good guy, how the hell does the regular schmuck in row 8 that has to wake up for his bullshit job tomorrow, how can he relate to that? You being the good guy now saying you can't wait to get back to the lavish lifestyle with the $1 million paydays and the big cars and you're a good guy now. The most people that want to root for good guys, they can't relate to that shit. You need to be talking about family. Because at the end of the day, regular schmoes like you, that's all we have. We're not part of the, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's what I need to see. The microphone thing, every wrestler has that shit. Every wrestler has their little things like that. That to me is just part of, like, I don't know. I don't view that. Same thing with like Charlotte and the rope. Like, that to me is like a small, that to me, it's not so much on the type of character they are. That's just who they are. It's part of who they kind of are to me. I don't know. It's weird. But there was actually one thing. Well, the Jimmy stuff, I needed more stuff. One thing that I really didn't like on SmackDown, though, and I'm not going to I yelled at the one I really had like very minuscule feelings on, but I'm not going to yell this time. I hated how they ended the 7th match between Andrade and Carmelo.
Oh, yeah, that was not good.
Hated
that
it.
was not good.
Those guys have had 6 really, really like top-notch, really good matches, back and forth, and then they have a 7th one, the Game 7, which I'm excited about. I'm like, here we go again. And they just used it as a way to get to the triple threat match. And I did not like it. I would have liked a proper 7th match, and then you could have had LA Knight do something after. Or whatever.
They're starting to kind of make him a heel again.
Which I don't mind. I think he can go either way. He's super over, though. I don't know why you would do that. But for me, I don't think LA Knight, and we're going to talk about, I don't think LA Knight's leaving with the belt on Saturday.
You don't?
I think Carmelo's taking it. But I don't know. Those guys had 6.
Definitely not your bias talking.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not rooting for the guy from Boston. Absolutely not. But I don't know. I just feel like it was just a shitty way to end the 7th match. Like, I didn't like it. That bothered me. That was the thing that bothered me the most on SmackDown, was that they kind of threw away that 7th match just to kind of get to where and now again, the triple threat match on Saturday, I think could steal the show. Like, I think it's going to be really, really good. Yes, that's what I'm hoping for. I think Carmelo wins, and then I think we get a proper 7th match with the other one for the championship. That's what I think they're going to do. That's kind of not only my bias, but that's
I don't hate that.
That's kind of where I'm going mentally as well.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all.
So I didn't like that. I didn't like how they kind of threw away that Game 7 type thing for what they did. That bothered me. But again, we'll see where they go. But I didn't like that. And then we also had, to start the show, Drew, we had Randy Orton call out Triple H.
Yeah.
He did that.
First time I ever heard Triple H's music live in an arena.
There you go. Really? You never were going to shows when he was still active?
Nope.
Really? Wait, what? LA Knight, did he have a new belt? I didn't see it.
I didn't notice that.
Joe, the Yankees aren't even going to see Game 5, brother. So let me tell you, I'm having a time, guys. Where are the big-chested Yankee fans that were so pumped for the World Series? You're batting .230 through beating the Guardians and the Twins, batting .230 as a team. Big puffed-out Yankee fan. Oh, yeah, baby! The Yankees are back!
So,
they are. Sure they are.
So,
play a real team and see what happens.
Anyway. So Randy Orton and Triple H.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The Yankee fans were so loud 4 days ago. Where are
you
now?
They were,
you're awful quiet, aren't you?
We had a really, really good, interesting segment between Randy Orton and Triple H on Friday.
Where are the Yankee fans?
And they were, it was really an interesting segment because I was expecting Kevin Owens to come out during this segment, and he didn't. I was like, oh, Okay. I thought maybe like he was either going to come out and talk, or he maybe would attack Randy from behind after Triple H got out of the ring. And that didn't happen. So like, oh, all right. Um, Now I did not see, unfortunately. I would have. I now that I'm thinking about it, I would have liked to. I should have stayed for the match, but I did not stay for the tag match.
Felt like a shoot, he says.
It did actually. It did kind of feel like a shoot a little bit, but that's because those guys. There's
They're pros.
probably no script between
Yeah.
the two of them at
No.
all.
They've been
They're
doing
just
this
going to
against each
shoot the
other and
shit.
with each other forever.
So I did not stay for the tag match, which I should have. I wish I did. The men's one between Cody and Randy and Gunther and who? I don't even remember who.
I don't even know that was that on the taped one?
Did they not?
Was that on
Wasn't that
SmackDown?
announced on SmackDown that was the follow for the following week?
Oh, maybe. I don't remember. Yeah, I think so.
So
yeah, because later on, Cody and Gunther had a. They're not having KO and Gunther tag team, are they?
No, I think it might have been.
Was it
maybe it was
Kaiser? Was it just Gunther? Yeah, Gunther and Kaiser.
It might be. Yeah. Man, what a segment that Cody Gunther segment was.
Yeah,
that was
good.
Good. Those. Ooh.
Yeah.
Gunther was brutal.
He's unbelievable. Best heel in the biz.
Absolutely excellent. Yeah. So I'm imagining Kevin Owens comes out during that, probably. Which now I realized after the fact, after I left, I was like, oh shit, I probably should have stayed because of Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Yeah.
I didn't read the spoilers for what I didn't see, so I don't know what happens aside from what I saw.
I haven't read the spoilers either, so I don't know anything that's occurring on this Friday SmackDown except for the match that was made that is that crown jewel. So, all right.
Speaking of crown jewel.
Yeah, let's dive in. We have a 7-match card here that'll be taking place this Saturday. And you know what? Let's start it with the match that I think will probably open the show, to be honest with you. It was the match that was announced on the taped episode of SmackDown. It is a 6-man tag team match. It will be the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa, going up against Roman Reigns and the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. I think the bad guy Bloodline needs to win this match.
Agreed.
And I don't know if Jacob Fatu is able to travel due to some things, but he's clearly.
Wasn't he in Canada earlier this year?
I thought he was. I don't know if it's different going to a place like Saudi Arabia than Canada or not, but I do believe the bad Bloodline needs to win this match, and I think they need to win this match because Jacob Fatu shows up, and the numbers are still uneven, and they win due to 4-on-3.
I assumed
shenanigans.
That Jacob Fatu was going to be the third person in the match.
Yeah, no, they're purposely saying it's Solo in the Guerrillas of Destiny.
Okay.
Now I don't know if they're doing that to protect themselves in case Jacob Fatu can't make it, or something like that. Or I would think Jacob Fatu will be the guy that comes in later on and just kind of causes havoc, which helps the Bloodline win.
Right.
And then it leads to what Sandy's saying. Oh, we still need more help. Sammy, 4-on-4 war games, blah. But this is a match where this match will probably go for a fucking hour. But it's going to go for like 40 goddamn minutes, and it's going to be drama filled. It will be amazing. Like, it'll be very drama filled, very entertaining. But yeah, I think if Roman and the Usos win this one, then what the hell's the point of continuing? So that's how I view it, is the Bloodline has to win to keep this going on. Because if the good guys get the win here, there's no point for the War Games at all.
Right.
So that's kind of where I'm going there. But again, I think this opens the show because I would assume those new belts will be ending the show. So I assume this opens the show. Maybe you could open it with maybe one of the two other, I wouldn't be shocked if they opened it maybe with the Women's Crown Jewel Championship match, maybe. And this is later, but I think this would be a hot opener. You get Roman out there right away. The crowd's like, oh, shit. Yeah, basically.
There's a lot of, Roman's entrance takes forever.
Yep.
And then there's going to be a lot of eating as well.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we're in agreement here that we think the bad guy Bloodline Solo and crew will get the victory there. Yeah. We then had a match that was added on Monday or last Monday. We have an unsanctioned match. They made it now, which is very nice. It is going to be Seth freaking Rollins against Bronson Reed. The unsanctioned makes it good. That means there's going to be some chaos, as we've seen.
Like what happened last night.
Yeah, these two cannot stay away from each other. We saw last night they had another great brawling segment where Seth was cutting a promo. Bronson cut him off on the Tron and said, "Hey, I promised Pierce I wouldn't get involved and attack you in the ring, but I'm in the parking lot, so if you want to go, I'm right here, buddy." And Seth was like, "Okay." And Seth met him out there. They brawled. They were on the truck, and Bronson Reed did like a fireman's carry thing off the truck through some tables. I'm expecting this match to be very, very good and very, very chaotic. And I'm picking Bronson. I'm picking Bronson Reed. I think a win in this match does a lot more for Bronson Reed, and Seth can lose, and it does not matter.
I actually think Seth is winning.
He probably will, but I think Seth can lose this match, and I don't think it matters at all. I don't think it matters at all.
I think it does matter.
Really? I think if Bronson wins, Bronson Reed winning matters way more than Seth Rollins losing to each individual, in my opinion.
I think that Seth is going to be involved in something after this that makes it more likely that he should win. Because someone else who I thought was going to be involved with the World Heavyweight Championship is now going to be back doing Judgment Day stuff. So now I'm seeing why they did what they did for last night's main event, which we'll talk about when we get to whatever is Judgment Day related on this show.
Yeah.
They're going to do Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship.
I don't think so. I think they're keeping Seth and Punk away from each other until we get closer to Mania, because that's the Mania match. I think CM Punk's going right for Gunther.
And Punk and Seth is going to also claim that.
You think that you think that they're just going to have this one match and this is the end with Seth and Bronson Reed? You think it's just a one-off? I do not. I think this is going. It
might not be, but I don't think it's going to be Seth's primary focus.
I fully agree with Scott. That's where I am with this. I think if you do not have Bronson Reed win this match or win this feud, this whole thing was a waste of building him, because he just goes immediately back down to somebody who doesn't matter. You built him up. You built him up to this guy that people care about and that matters, and he's doing all this good shit, and you built him up based off of what he did to Seth, and then you're going to have Seth come back and just beat him, then he doesn't fucking matter. He just doesn't matter.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but I could see maybe what they do instead is Seth and Bronson Reed.
Yeah. Like, exactly. All of us care about Bronson Reed now. And we care about Bronson Reed because of what happened.
I could see them doing Seth and Bronson Reed continuous, and then it's just Punk and Gunther.
That's what I think they're going to do.
So that could be a possibility. So maybe then Bronson Reed does win.
I think you making it an unsanctioned match protects Seth.
That is also true.
Because it's not a real wrestling match. It's unsanctioned, so Bronson Reed can do whatever he wants to do. And if he hits a tsunami off the fucking stage or whatever, like, he can do something wild that gets him a victory in this crazy match. And then if it continues,
or Seth wins and then he goes crazy ape shit on him.
Maybe. I just feel like I'm kind of more towards what Scott said, that I feel like if Bronson loses this match, this was a waste of time. This was a waste of time.
I could see if they do a 3-part, I could see it being first Seth, then Bronson, and then Seth winning.
I would rather Bronson win and then Seth does 2 in a row. Because my thing is, I don't think Seth is in the unless Punk wins the belt. I think Seth isn't going to be in the world title picture for a while. I would like Seth to go after Braun Breaker in the IC title. That's where I would like Seth to go eventually. But I think Bronson Reed. That, Joe, you're probably not wrong. He says it should have been an unsanctioned last man standing match where he's buried under rubble after tsunami and can't that I get, but I agree. Yeah, I agree with Sam. Like, I just feel like you presented this.
I actually do not think he's winning this feud.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, because WWE is WWE and they're going to have Seth win it. But like, again,
Bronson Reed is not going to be holding the World Heavyweight Championship. Like, that's not his.
But I don't think Seth. I think eventually.
I would like it.
I think Bronson Reed will eventually get there. 100%. Eventually,
maybe
one soon. But I think he'll eventually get there. I am of the belief that if you build somebody up to make them the star that like Bronson Reed, this shit started like 4 months ago. It's not like he's been, you know what I mean? Like, he was dwindling forever. And then you made him an immediate star, an immediate part of the show that people are excited about. They want to see what he's going to do. They want to see the carnage and all this stuff. And you built up this big feud.
Well, see, that's the thing, though.
Hold on. He's going to lose.
That's the thing, though. Bronson Reed is all about carnage. That's what people want to see. So it doesn't really matter whether he wins or loses. The carnage is what matters.
But it does matter.
Because that's what gets people popping.
Yes, but it does matter if he wins or loses, because you're only going to get away with that carnage for only so long if the guy fucking loses all the time and doesn't matter.
Oh, no, I agree with you on that. I'm saying WWE's stance is you pop when there's carnage, therefore he's the guy that does the carnage.
That's fair.
It doesn't matter if he wins or loses.
Yeah. I just think in this match, I think Bronson Reed should win and needs to win, to be honest with you. Needs to. Would I be shocked if Seth Rollins does? No. But yeah, I think that's the blueprint they are using, is the Braun Strowman when he was tipping over ambulances and doing all that shit. Like, I do think that is the blueprint that they are using with Bronson. I agree, Sandy. I think a U.S. title or IC title run with Bronson Reed would be perfect. I just think they should do the right thing, and the right thing would be Bronson Reed.
I would have liked to see Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. That would have been a really great.
That'd be fun.
But now they're both heels again.
Yeah, yeah. I think, I'm telling you, I think Seth going after the IC title would not only be a big feud for Braun Breaker, but I think it would, the IC title has been brought back to a certain level of prestige thanks to Gunther and kind of how they've treated it since. If Seth Rollins is going for that belt, that gives it a certain level of prestige some more to me. So I would not mind Seth Rollins saying, "Hey, Braun." And that's what it is. That's what it is Bronson has been built to this point based on the carnage and based all that, but he does need a signature win. He doesn't have that yet because he lost that match to Braun Strowman, the monster standing match, because of Seth. Bronson doesn't have that signature win yet. And even in an unsanctioned match where crazy shit can happen, you beat Seth Rollins. Even if Seth beats you the next 2 and wins the feud, you beat Seth Rollins, that's a signature win. And that is the one thing that I think Bronson Reed is missing. But we'll see. We'll see what they do with it. We have a fatal 4-way tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. It is Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair defending against Damage Control, Kairi Sane and Io Sky, against Metaphor, Last Legend and Jakara Jackson, and against Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Drew, I'm going to be honest with you. I am not going to have a problem with any of these teams leaving this event as the tag champs. I would not have a problem with any of them.
Yeah, me neither.
I like all of these teams. I would assume the NXT girls are not going to win. Sandy, I was talking about this with Josh the other day. I don't know if they're called up or not. If they were, I would be totally on board with it. I think they're great. But I think just in general, right? Because there are no more NXT women's tag titles. There is only the WWE women's tag titles, and they're supposed to float between all three brands. I think Metaphor is being used as kind of the example of how if you are a women's tag team in NXT that is on the main roster or floating around a tag title thing, that you should be showing up on the main rosters. It shouldn't always be the tag champions having to go down to you in NXT. It should be more of a floating device everywhere. So I don't know if it's a full-on call-up for Metaphor. I think if it was, they would make it work. Yeah, but I'm not really
been
sure.
On the main roster more than NXT at this point for the past month now.
Truly, they really have. Yeah. So we have Scott saying that he thinks the champs retain. We have Sandy saying here the champs can lose without being pinned. They can. Here's my thing. I am probably leaning towards Jade and Bianca retaining. I'm probably leaning towards that. Because I think the next time that Jade and Bianca lose the belts, that is starting the end of Jade and Bianca. The next time they lose those belts. I don't know if you want to do it this Saturday or you want to drag it out some more. I do think Bayley and Naomi winning the belts, like Scott just said, that would be a good.
Actually, really like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what should happen.
Yeah. So maybe at Survivor Series, you got that tag match for the titles. Bayley and Naomi take it. And then that starts. It should be. I think they'll go Jade, Sandy, but that's what I want. I want Bianca to be the one that turns, but I think they'll go Jade. I feel like Jade is the safer bet.
Yeah.
But Bianca would be the better bet for me. But I could see that happening, but I'm going to pick the champs retaining. I would. Yes. I think that has to be. I think that has to be one of your marquee matches at WrestleMania. So if it's happening already, I mean, yes, they can drag it out. We love Triple H loves dragging shit out, which is not a bad thing.
I'm actually going to go with Scott. I actually think, I think it would be really cool for Bayley and Naomi.
Oh yeah,
to win tag titles together. Probably it's gonna be what you said, but just to be different. What the heck? I picked Bayley and Naomi.
Yeah. If there was a team I wanted to win besides Bayley and Naomi, besides Jade and Bianca, it would be Chelsea and Piper. I think Chelsea and Piper with those tag titles would be a lot of fun. I think Chelsea Green deserves all the stuff. But yeah. Okay. All right. So then we have another singles match. Actually, no, let's do this. Let's do the triple threat match for the WWE United States Championship. We kind of talked about what led to this match. It is LA Knight defending against Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. Like Asian Joe said earlier, I'm picking Carmelo Hayes because I do think we're going to get a proper seventh match at some point between Carmelo and Andrade, and I think it being for the United States Championship would be the way to go. So I'm going to pick Carmelo here. But I expect this match to be a show-stealing match of the show. I expect this to be a very, very good match, the triple threat here. We got Sandy in the chat saying he's picking LA Knight to retain. What are you feeling, Drew?
This is a little bit of a tough one because I do not think Andrade is winning, but I can see either LA Knight or Carmelo Hayes winning. And I feel like Carmelo Hayes makes the most sense based off of how they've been booking him for the last few weeks. He's the perfect heel to steal a victory and win a title when he absolutely didn't deserve it.
Yep.
So I would actually like and prefer for him to win this match.
Yeah. One thing I will say though, if he does win this match, you better not be bringing back that spinner belt. Do not make your side plate spinners if you want to do that shit. That's fine. I'm okay with that. But
Why would they be a spinner belt?
Carmelo said that if he wins the United States title, he's bringing back the spinner. He's openly said that on WWE
He said
television.
that?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And then he cut.
Oh, that's not gonna happen.
He released a video of him warming up for the United States title match, and it was like they had the old spinner belt was like on a door frame, and he jumped up and spun it as part of his workout. Like he jumped up and spun the belt, and then he posed. And he's been very adamant about how if he wins the United States title, he's bringing back.
He's not bringing back the spinner belt,
Why?
even if he wins.
Cena's going to need opponents next year. Give Cena back the U.S. spinner belt.
Oh, interesting. I didn't think about that.
And then Cena can retire it forever, even though it already is retired. But anyway, all right, let's keep moving. We do have a singles match. It is 1-on-1. It is Randy Orton 1-on-1 with Kevin Owens. Yeah, man. I mean, the story they're doing with everything here, I love. Randy really wants to beat the crap out of Kevin. Kevin seems like he doesn't even know if he wants to be in WWE anymore with the stuff that he's doing. But they are going to get the 1-on-1 match. It is just a regular singles match at this point. It should be a good one. This is the one match, though, that I'm kind of torn at. I don't know who's going to win. I feel like Kevin Owens should win. But he's Randy Orton. I don't know. I don't really know where this one goes, Drew. This is the one match that I am torn on who I think is going to win more than the rest.
I think there's going to be a DQ or something here. I don't think there's going to be
they just brawl or Sandy says Owens wins, or like a no contest brawl type of thing. Like they just can't.
I would say like there's some sort of a thing where there is no winner.
Yeah. I'm just like, I mean, because the story is that KO,
and I think
turned on Randy.
That is aided by the promo that happened on Friday, like protecting Randy from Kevin. And
yeah,
it feels like that would be like a non-finish to get to another match.
Yeah, doesn't it? It's very weird. It's very weird. This match though should be very good. Should be very good. Asian Joe saying, I think they could have done a loser leaves WWE match. Randy wins and KO leaves to play off his story and then returned around Rumble. That would have been fun. Although I think the story is that Randy and KO are eventually going to align and go against Cody. Right? Like Randy's the mastermind. Even though we're at this level here where they're fighting. This level between them two has gone further than I thought it was, because I thought it was going to be.
I don't know if I would say that Randy is the mastermind.
Going into it, I was like, oh, KO's starting to crack, but Randy's the one is the puppeteer. Like Randy's the one that's feeding into KO. Like when it was KO and Cody, 100% Sandy. That's on I already have my way too early WrestleMania card that I'm building of what I think is going to happen. And I do think that Randy and Cody is the match. Asian Joe saying that does unfortunately scream triple threat for the belt, though. It does. I don't know. It's very.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I don't know, but
I think that there's gonna be eventually. I think eventually this is gonna happen, but it's not gonna be. This might be if so. I don't know. Who's gonna? Cody is going to be involved with the Bloodline in WrestleMania. That's happening because Rock and Cody has not happened yet 1-on-1, and that is going to happen. It's happening. Sorry, you just got to get over it. It's happening. So Cody's out of the Bloodline right now, but this Randy and Kevin Owens thing, and now the Gunther thing, and that's happening. This is all a placeholder until Rock comes back and goes after Cody. This is what it is. Sorry, everybody.
I think Rock's coming back, and it's Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. I got Rock and Roman at WrestleMania.
But Rock and Cody haven't been finished yet. They had that promo the night after WrestleMania, the title switching thing, and it's not over yet. Don't think it's over. Just telling you all now, not over. And I don't have any insider knowledge or anything. I'm just saying The Rock has dictated certain things and has done certain things. This is what's happening. That segment, the title switching segment and the whispering in the ear would not have been a thing if that wasn't continuing.
Fair. Hey, listen, they don't want to care about the product. That's on them. I care about the product and the future of the product. And Cody being out of the bloodline is best for business, as Triple H used to say a lot. But they want to do it. They can do it. The money is in Roman and Rock, not Cody and Rock, to me. Now you'll
Roman
get
and Rock will happen, but I'm thinking it might be a SummerSlam thing.
See, I think they've gotten past the point now because I'm thinking like after Mania next year, Cody needs to turn heel. That's where I'm at. I mean, that's kind of.
I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
It will. I think it will, and I think Cody will be a better heel than he is a good guy.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think
happen.
I think at some point next year, Cody is going to turn heel. At some point, and I mean. It's a completely different thing. I don't know. Yes, I do agree with you, Drew. I do think I would think that I think at Royal Rumble, Roman gets his rematch with Cody. And I think we do Roman and Cody and the rematch at Rumble. That is true. I agree with Joe there.
Well, where do you do Roman and Rock now? Because they're
Mania.
not going back to Vegas.
Yeah, they are for Mania's in Vegas.
This next coming year?
Yeah, Mania's in Vegas next year. You haven't seen the commercials? They're all over the place.
Oh, that's right. They didn't. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so that to me, I think you want to do Roman and Rock. You want to do Cody and Rock. I think that's New York next SummerSlam. You could do Cody and Rock if you want to do that. But to me, the Bloodline stuff is happening at Survivor Series. There's no December pay-per-view. There isn't a pay-per-view until the Royal Rumble.
Right.
Roman and Cody.
Well, but there is the first Netflix Raw. I think they're going to do something big for that.
Yes, but technically, and I think I agree with you. Well, Cena's going to be back for sure. I agree. Cena will be. I agree with you, but technically, even though it's a Raw, this story is not on Raw. This is not a Raw story. Technically.
Well, it has been.
That I mean, it's the Bloodline stuff has. Cody hasn't been on. I mean, because of Gunther, he has, but Cody hasn't been. Cody's a SmackDown guy. He's a SmackDown. You know what I mean?
They don't care about that.
Exactly. That's yeah. But I think
Raw.
Yeah.
No, there is absolutely no brand split.
That's a one-off. I expect Cody to be there. I expect Cena to be there. I expect, Pat McAfee said he's coming back on the lower end of things, but like that's going to be its own big deal. But I think at Royal Rumble we get the rematch of Roman and Cody, and then I do think it leads to Roman and Rock, and I think Cody and Randy happens at Mania. Cody and Randy, Roman and Rock. I would do Cena winning the Royal Rumble and going against Gunther. So I have Cena, Gunther, Cody, Randy, Roman, and Rock. I would do Jade and Bianca. I would have Becky Lynch come back. Becky Lynch will be back hopefully at that point. Charlotte will be back at that point. And then you can start diving in. I do not want Rhea and Liv going until Mania. No. Run back Rhea and Charlotte. Run back Rhea. The match that I really want on the women's side of things is Rhea and Bianca. That I think is like the big time women's match they have. Yeah. But Bianca and Jade is Mania. That needs to happen first. But again, I have anyway. But I'm gonna all right. So now we have the two Crown Jewel championship matches. For the record, just to be different, I'm gonna pick Kevin Owens to beat Randy. Although I do agree with a lot of you guys, I do think it could easily be like a thrown out type of match. But I'm picking KO just to pick KO. So now we have the two Crown Jewel championship matches. We will start on the women's side of things. Very intrigued to see how they go about this. Because it is Liv Morgan, who is obviously the women's champion on Raw, and Nia Jax, who is the SmackDown Women's Champion. Now, I have a pretty sure idea of who I think is going to win. I'm not intrigued on that side of it. I'm intrigued because these are two heels that the crowd really hates currently. Like, these are not two heels that get cheers. Like, they are like legitimately not liked heels on both shows.
Right.
And they're having this match against each other here. And I think the crowd will probably side with Liv just because Liv's been a good person before. And we all kind of liked Liv at one point, and we still do if you like her work. But you know what I mean? I feel like the crowd might side with Liv.
The point of this feud is not Nia Jax, and it's not Liv Morgan. It's all about Tiffany Stratton.
Well, I think, all right. So Asian Joe says he's going with Nia to win because she's already the queen of the ring. Interference will cost Liv. I think Tiffany's going to fuck up. I have Liv winning this match, and I'm pretty confident in that because I think Tiffany's going to fuck it up. And Liv wins, and then that, yeah, exactly, Sandy. And then that further gets Nia to be that continue. I think Tiffany, they have this plan in place, and Tiffany's going to fuck up the plan, which Nia will get more angry at. Yeah.
Was really, really interesting because we had seen in the background sort of Tiffany being upset with Nia but she was being very bold this time. She was outright saying like, oh, I'm kind of tired of your shit.
Yeah.
It's like this little friendship of ours has really been one-sided for the most part, and you thinking that you can dictate my moves and actions and everything.
Look, she stood up for herself.
And yeah, it was a great segment. Brooklyn popped huge for that segment. And that's what made me go, oh, this isn't about Liv and Nia. This isn't about Liv and Nia. This is about Tiffany Stratton. And so that's why I'm fine with us being heel and heel, because at the end of it, everyone is just waiting to see what Tiffany Stratton is doing.
Yeah.
And what happens with her.
And Scott says, possible cash in here. Tiffany cashes in on Nia here. Do we think it's still a little too early for that?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, we had discussed maybe Tiffany cashing in and making this whole thing a triple threat or whatever. I think we had discussed that.
Well, somebody floated out to Sean actually on Twitter when they announced these belts. Somebody had said, hey, so if Tiffany cashes in and makes it a triple threat and wins, what belt would she, how would that work?
This is an interesting idea that I just thought of that has never happened as far as I know.
Yeah,
I've been watching wrestling.
I agree with Ophelia just in general. I don't think they'll do the cash-in Saudi. I don't. They'll tease it. I don't. No. I think they'll save that. I think they'll save that for the American audience. I don't know. The American audience loves Tiffany Stratton. And I think that moment would go over a lot.
Okay, so I haven't watched a Saudi show in a while. I didn't really want to watch this Saudi show, but
the crowds are good. Listen, I was talking.
The women they're not covered up anymore, are
they? It's a lot more loose. I still think they're covered up, but it's a lot more loose. But I still think they're kind of covered up for the most part. I still think that's a thing. But we're having a match with 8 fucking women in it. Now, again, I wish there were more than just... No, there's 2 women's matches. I lied. But we have 2 women's matches on this show, and one of them has 8 different women in it. So that is progress, because it took a couple of shows for them to even get 1 women's match on it. So,
well, Ophelia, the thing is, though, is that this isn't for both belts. This is just for the crown jewel.
Yeah. So, but if she cashes in, though, then that makes it... She's not cashing in for the triple, you know what I mean? She can cash in for any belt.
But if she cashes in, it doesn't mean that she's cashing in for both titles.
No, it would just, she would have to, I assume, tell the ref, hey, I'm cashing in on Nia right now. I don't know.
So here's the interesting thing that I know is something that's never been done before. What would be very unique to see is maybe Raquel gets involved takes out Nia.
Yeah.
Now, Tiffany Stratton cashes in before somebody wins that match. Has the match for that title while the other person is down, wins that title, and then the match continues for the Crown Jewel Championship. I think that would be a really, really cool thing to do, where Raquel and Liv get Nia out and, indispose her. It's in some way. Then Tiffany Stratton comes down, cashes in on Liv. Liv and her have the match while Nia is indisposed. Then Tiffany wins that match, and Nia has no idea what the hell is going on, and then gets back in the ring thinking, all right, I'm about to fight Liv and whatever. And then Tiffany is there holding the championship. It's like, oh yeah, you're fighting me now. You're not fighting Liv anymore.
Yeah. That would be
That would be a very unique.
It would. I do agree with Sandy though. This is not me talking bad about wrestling fans, but for a lot of the wrestling fans, I don't think their brains could handle it. I think that would be a smidge too confusing for the majority of regular level. I'm trying to say this as nice as I can.
Wrestling fans are fucking stupid.
I'm just
going to say it.
A lot of them.
Now you can say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, a lot of them. So I don't know if they'd be able to understand what was going on there.
I'm thinking of like a way where like maybe Raquel puts Nia through the announce table and she's just totally knocked out and indisposed. Then Tiffany comes in during that whole thing. They do the match. And then Nia gets back up and she just turns around and she's like, yeah, I'm going after Liv. Oh, wait a minute. What just happened? Yeah. And so I feel like that would be really interesting to do something really unique like that. But yeah, I mean, because this as it is a unique thing. There's never been two champions going after another championship that has nothing to do with the titles they're holding.
My whole thing when it comes to this, though, like, I understand what they're trying to do. Right? You're making Saudi a big deal. You're trying to make this show matter more than it does. Like next year, like let's just say Liv Morgan wins this match, right? And she is the women's crown jewel champion. Okay. Next November rolls around, and Liv is not a women's champion at this point. So then we're going to have this event again. There's going to be two different women, or maybe, whatever, fighting to become the women's crown jewel champion. But in my opinion, whoever wins these matches on Saturday, they are the crown jewel champion. So next year, let's just say a year from now, it's not Gunther and Cody as the champions.
Well, the thing is that title is not defended.
Okay. But if you're it's
just like Cody, a trophy, like the World Series or the
Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, that's what they're. Yeah, I just to me, I'm just kind of like.
Yeah, Braun Strowman is still a crown jewel champion.
I don't like it. I don't like it. You shouldn't have made it a belt then. Well, make it a trophy.
Saudi Arabia, they
make it a trophy because when I see a belt, I understand what you're saying. Like, hey, the same team doesn't win the Super Bowl every year. I mean, unless you're the Patriots of the 2000s and 2010s. But, the same team doesn't win the Super Bowl every year, right? I get it. But, it's weird because if they're going to go in next year and they'd be like, Cody Rhodes is the defending men's.
No, they're not going to say that. They're just going to say he's the first one.
It's because it's wrestling. It just doesn't make sense to me.
But the two teams in the World Series right now were not in the World Series last year.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
The Dodgers weren't in the World Series last year, were they? When
Were
was
they?
No, it was the
No.
Astros and the
No,
Phillies.
it was the Rangers. It's the Rangers.
Oh, the Rangers.
Texas Rangers won
Okay.
last year. They beat Philly?
So,
I don't know. Who cares? It just bothers me.
so my point is that nobody in the current World Series now is saying, "Oh, well, when the Rangers won last year's World Series, it's last year's World Series, last year's Super Bowl has nothing to do with this year's World Series and this year's Super Bowl." So,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I don't know. But you're all right. So who are you picking then?
I think that Nia wins.
You think Nia wins?
I think, yeah, and it's probably they're not going to do what I said, but I would really like to see that. I think that would be such a unique, interesting thing for them to do. But I do also agree. Probably they're going to stretch out the heel turn, well, the babyface turn, essentially, of Tiffany Stratton and stuff. I don't think they're going to do it as Saudi either, but it would be very. I mean, she said in the promo she was going to cash in.
Well, the whole thing is then Nia has been telling her she's going to cash in on Liv, right?
Right.
So that's kind of been the whole story. And then on the promo,
they could do Nia wins. Then she's thinking, oh, well, Tiffany said she was going to cash in on Liv.
Yeah.
She's going to cash in on, oh, well, here comes the briefcase. Slap to the back of the head. Here, cash in and do the thing. They could do that also.
Yeah. I have Liv winning. I think that is true, though. If the Saudis want to cash in on their show, I mean, WWE will probably make it happen.
They also wanted to see Yokozuna.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. I have Liv Morgan winning because I think that Tiffany will come out with good intentions, and I think Tiffany will F it up. And I think, you just said you think they're gonna stretch out the Tiffany becoming more of a baby face as we get there. I think Tiffany messing up does that because Nia will only get more mad.
I feel like they can only do that so many times, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but Tiffany gave the little inkling last week. Hey, I'm tired. I'm starting to get tired of your shit. So if the shit continues, then you have Tiffany actually like going, you know what? I am done with this shit. And then, but I think Tiffany helps, not on purpose, but I think Tiffany messes up, which allows Liv to win, which kind of furthers the dissension between Nia and Tiffany. All right.
Well, to answer Eric's question from a few minutes ago,
come on.
Come on. Like, well, unfortunately, Crown Jewel Championship means more.
You see, they're walking around with that in cases. The dudes holding the cases are wearing gloves like it's the Stanley Cup. That's how they're treating. Oh, don't touch it. It needs to stay in that case. So get the white gloves on you. Don't get any fingerprints on it. They're treating it like it's So
because a couple of years ago there was an egg that got stolen, and they just want to make sure that the titles don't get treated like the egg did by WWE.
Yes, again, different regime. So but we are at what I assume will be the main event of the evening. It is for the WWE Crown Jewel Championship. It is your world.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, before we move on from that, I have to talk about something.
Yeah.
What a garbage fucking finish to Raw last night.
The whole thing sucked. I didn't even want to talk about Raw at all.
Well, because I wanted to mention, because we mentioned Judgment Day-ish, kind of, with Liv there. There was absolutely no reason for that person, the former champion, to be Damian Priest. There was no reason for that at all. Then they had Damian Priest lose.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, good for Dom. Good for Dom.
No, not good for Dom. Fuck that.
I like Dom.
He's all right, but he's got to put his tongue back in his mouth. It's just like, holy shit, that was awful booking decision. Awful. Okay, fine. You didn't want to do Rhea, and even though that was like a week prior, there was a story that came out that they were rumored that they want to do Rhea and Dom.
Yeah.
So that's what made me go, oh, maybe it's Rhea, because the story just came out, and now next week he's facing an opponent that he doesn't know who. So it's like, oh, well, maybe it's actually going to be Rhea, and it was the main event of the show. I was like, oh, that could be a really big main event. No, it's just Damian Priest. Like, oh, it couldn't even be Finn Balor to show some
I
dissension.
thought it was
You
going to
know,
be Finn. I thought it was going to be Finn. But yeah,
I,
I thought Raw was just gonna
Joe, I am not jealous of Dominic Mysterio in the least bit. Promise you that.
I'll tell you right now, though. Next year, though, Dominic getting that babyface run. Gonna get that babyface run. It's happening. So we have, yeah, I agree, Sandy. I thought it was gonna be Finn. That was my initial choice, and then Drew threw out the Rhea thing last week, and I was like, that would also rule. And then I was talking to Josh, and Josh thought that it was gonna be CM Punk. And I was like, that would make sense too, because he's a former world champion. They fought on when CM Punk was having his first house show matches. It was against Don. That would make sense.
I didn't
And
think
again,
about that.
it's not like the Damian Priest choice doesn't make sense. He's clearly has a history with Dominic Mysterio, and like the choice made sense. I just thought it was kind of a letdown.
It was a letdown.
And then you have, like you said, like you have Dom beat him, and Dom beat him in the way, like, yeah, the other people were out there, but Dom, I mean, it wasn't clean, but it wasn't like he rolled him up and beat him.
Yeah.
You know?
Not because of wasn't because of a direct attack from somebody in Judgment
Day.
Day.
Like, that's why I don't want to say it was clean, because Judgment Day was out there, like, doing their, but it was like, it wasn't like, oh, Priest got run down eventually, the numbers game of 5 of them out there fucking with them. Dom won. No, this was just like he just rolled him up and beat him. And then they're talking about how he's going to be the next, I know it's obviously like kind of funny, but like you see all the social media stuff and the interview, they're all talking, oh, our next world champ. Like, I think Dom is 100% getting a world championship match against Gunther. Between Crown Jewel and the Royal Rumble, that match is happening.
There you go. That's Netflix on Raw. On Netflix. That's the first. Yeah. But that main event.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We have Gunther, who is obviously the World Heavyweight Championship, going up against Cody Rhodes, who is the undisputed WWE champion. Like you already mentioned, that
Netflix on Raw.
That promo they cut on Friday was really, really good. Gunther was excellent in that promo, just really being a bastard heel. Like, really good stuff. This match is, I mean, it should be so good. It feels like a big time match. It feels like a big time fight. These are the two guys in the company. Sandy said it a little bit earlier. Asian Joe saying it because they align with how I feel. Gunther is winning this match. I feel like Gunther is going to win this match. I know Sandy said earlier he thinks KO will interfere, and that will lead to it.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I expect some sort of stuff like that, but I expect Gunther to win. And oh, wow. Eric's saying Goldberg's going to cost Gunther. That could happen. That could actually happen, to be honest with you. At Saudi, that could fucking happen. Goldberg beat the Fiend at Saudi. In Saudi. That could happen. That is actually something I did not think about. That's actually a good shot there. Yeah. Not sure you want a guy named the American Nightmare to win a belt strictly for the Saudi audience. Maybe.
Well, I mean, nobody that would win the title is strictly for a Saudi audience.
That's true. But I mean, Saudi don't like America.
If it was Mansoor, when they were trotting around Mansoor every time they went to Saudi Arabia.
I don't think he's talking about that as like a hometown guy. I think he's saying like, yeah, the Saudis don't like America. The Saudis don't like America. So if you're gonna have Mr. America, if you're gonna have Mr. America win that belt, and we'll go over again the Saudi shows you haven't watched them. The people that are in the audience for the most part, they're the regular people that live in Saudi Arabia. So they're regular fans that like WWE. So I'm cool that they get to go see a show. Like, I'm happy for them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The reasons of why and how it got there, and the people that were, those people can, I don't want to say it on here because God forbid I get chopped up and put in a bag. But I don't want to, they can go a certain somewhere. But yeah, I think KO and or Randy get involved. And that either distracts Cody or maybe they even come out and attack Cody. But I think that is part of the reason why Yeah, that's true. That is true. They do. The people in power, they'll be in the first 3 or 4 rows and they don't even watch. They're just kind of
Are
chatting with
they?
each
They
other.
are. They're
Oh yeah.
there.
They're sitting in like fucking recliners, it looks like. They're like in recliners and shit. And not the like I don't think it's like the higher, like top of the brass of the whole thing, but like
Yeah.
the higher ups.
Well, I do remember the first like 2 shows. It's really been a while since I've watched a Saudi
Yeah.
show. I remember that. So they still have like the lounge chairs.
Yeah,
like
I think so.
The
At least
by
it
the
seems like
barricade.
it. The first couple rows, yeah, it seems like it. But anyway, who knows? But I have Gunther winning, Drew. I don't know if you feel the same or you think that Cody will.
I know. I think Gunther is the better person to win here. Just how it happens, I don't know.
Yeah.
If this main event, there's definitely some sort of big
Oh,
time.
I think it will. I think it will be the main event. And the part.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. If this main event,
Yeah,
and Bloodline doesn't main event, could be the first non-Bloodline main event in a while. Maybe The Rock comes out to screw Cody.
maybe.
Did you ever think about that?
Maybe. I mean, he's wearing a fake championship, so might as well. But like, maybe. I don't know. I don't think The Rock would go to Saudi. I don't think The Rock would go to Saudi. I don't know.
If the Saudis wanted, the Saudis get it.
Yeah. My thing is, the way that I'm viewing it is...
Remember, they wanted Yokozuna.
That's true. The way that I'm viewing it is, I think at some point we all know that we are going to get a proper Gunther and Cody feud at some point down the line when they're on the same show together for a actual WWE world title. We will get this feud. And I think it makes much more sense of when we do get that a year or 2 years from now, whatever, that Gunther has the fact that he beat Cody for this title in this match in his back pocket as part of the thing to be like, oh yeah, well, remember a year ago when we fought it? Yeah, I beat you. And I think Gunther having that in his back pocket that's part of the reason why I'm picking Gunther too. I think it will elevate and continue the story with KO and Randy and Cody if they do it that way. But I think it's really because when we do get the proper Cody Gunther World Championship feud that we know we're getting at some point down the line, Gunther has this in his back pocket to be like, he can one-up Cody and be like, yeah, well, we fought before, and I won this prestigious belt by beating you because you are not on my level, type of thing. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm picking Gunther as well. And Ophelia does say if the Bloodline does open, they could still interfere in the main event too. I don't know why they would, but
no, I don't think they would have interfered.
Maybe
I think
Roman.
it would be Rock. If anybody from the Bloodline's interfering, it would be Rock.
Yeah,
just do the Cody Rock thing. But they would definitely do. If Bloodline isn't main eventing, The Rock is not showing up for that. If Bloodline is main eventing, however, there's got to be a reason for that.
I mean, would you be shocked if the Bloodline did main event? I feel like I would be because of the belts.
Right, yeah, I would be a little surprised, but if it's The Rock coming in, then I think the Saudis would care about that more.
Yeah. I mean, Ilya's obviously hurt Sandy, but I think that's a world title feud down the line when everyone's healthy and more established and stuff, for sure. They know they have that match in their back pocket too. There's a reason why they showed us those highlights from the house show when those two fought, because they know they have that. All right, I'm trying to think of the little quick hitters we could do, because that Raw really was quite trash last night.
Who gives a shit? We're done.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. War Raiders became the number 1 contenders for the Raw tag titles, and the New Day split seems to be continuing to unravel. That was kind of a little something, but other than that, not much, man. Not much. But the crown jewel on Saturday, I think it's going to be a good show. It's a good card. I'm not thrilled about the belts and kind of stuff like that. Like, they don't mean anything to me at all, but I'm excited and ready to watch Cody versus Gunther. I want to see that match. That is a match that I want to see. It should be excellent. The 6-man should be good. I think the 4-way tag match with the ladies is going to rule. The triple threat. I mean, again, I think it's going to be a good show, a good card. We'll talk about it next Tuesday and the fallout from Raw and all things like that. again, you were at SmackDown. I thought SmackDown was good, but I thought Raw was very missable last night. You could have missed it and it wouldn't have mattered at all.
I will well, now I know what to expect in a double taping because that really threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
I did not know that they were starting the show early, and
Yeah.
then I didn't really get to my seat until Triple H was coming out,
Mm-hmm.
and then because it was just not advertised, like, "Hey, we're starting the show an hour early." So, it was weird. It was definitely a weird experience, but now that I know what to expect next time, I can buy the things that I want to buy and not delay that. And so WWE, I want my "I Love You" Brooklyn shirt from Jacob Fatu. Please, just give it to me somehow. Put it on the shop.
Yeah,
I will buy it.
Mm-hmm.
You will get money from me. So you're losing out on money by not putting it in the shop. Just telling you that now. And yeah, it was a fun show. I really enjoyed it. And I guess I'm watching the Saudi shows again.
Yeah. I mean, the way that I look at it is the Saudi shows are solid. They're good shows, but I don't think anything like super dramatic has happened a lot there. Which is why I kind of think they created these belts, because they were like, this is a way for us to make something big, but we don't really change the main arcs of our show, to be honest with you. Sandy is right. If you are an NXT person, tonight we got a casket match, baby, happening on NXT. That'll be fun.
A casket match.
There's a casket match. Wendy Chu versus oh my god, Peyton. What's her name? Oh my, Peyton. Man,
I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, Wendy Chu is involved. Yes, and then next Wednesday, very cool. NXT.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, next Tuesday, NXT is going to be at the ECW Arena, which is very dope. And I guarantee
we didn't talk about one very important thing.
Tatum Paxley, that's right. An important thing that happened on Raw last night?
Sammy talking to Solo.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about any of that shit. Wow, all right. Yeah, let's talk about that in a couple minutes before we get out of here. Because, yeah, I thought we should have talked about it when we were talking about the six-man. I know we mentioned Sammy, but yeah. So last night, Sammy and Jay had a backstage segment. They show the Usos. They show the Usos. The Usos started the show talking to each other, blah, blah, blah. We go to the back, and Jimmy and Jay are there, and Sammy rolls up. And Sammy looks at Jay and he goes, hey, he's like, you got a moment, you got a second to talk. And Jay's like, yeah. And then Sammy goes like, no. Like, can Jimmy get the hell out of here? Like, do you have a second to talk? And then Sammy and Jimmy have like a stare down where like Sammy made it clear that like he wasn't on good terms. Like he doesn't want to deal with Jimmy. And that was the line where they're talking and Sammy's like, so is this just what it's going to be now? Like you're just back. You're not going to remember the last 2 years where Roman ruined your life and demeaned you and did all these things. And Jay kind of stops him and gets a little frustrated. And he goes, you just don't understand, man. And Sammy was like, well, no, I want you to try to make me understand. And he goes, you just don't understand because you're not family, Us. And then Sammy was kind of like, oh, and the crowd was like, oh, it was like one of those things. Oh, shit. So that happens. Then Jimmy comes back and Jimmy says, hey, they show him a little later. Jimmy says, hey, let me go talk to Sammy. And Jay's like, dude, that's not going to go well. And he's like, look it. All right. He goes, you talk to him. Like, I'll be cool. I'm not going to fight. Like, I'll be cool. Let me go talk to him. Then we see later on, Jimmy is outside and he's going to find Sammy. He sees Sammy and he kind of goes, oh, and he like ducks down and Jay comes over and Jimmy's like, yo, shut the hell up. He goes, get down. And then the camera peeks and there was an SUV with Sammy standing there and Solo Sikoa was hanging out the window talking to Sammy. And so the Usos kind of looked at each other and they were kind of like, mm-hmm. And that's how it ended with Solo. What we assume is him trying to recruit or talk Sammy into not potentially joining the Bloodline if they ask him to join the Bloodline. So very intriguing.
Yes. This was the most interesting part of Raw, honestly.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, we missed it completely.
Yeah, so
it's our thumbnail. We almost didn't even talk about the thumbnail. Anyway, continue.
That's why I was on Slack and I saw the thumbnail. I was like, oh wait, we
I
didn't
can't
talk
tell
about
you how many
this.
times on Beards we'll have a thumbnail and we don't talk about the thumbnail at all. Like
That
it's
was
like a
terrible.
routine thing on Beards.
And a very nicely made thumbnail, by the way.
Mm.
Kudos to Zach. So yeah, so there was I had seen on Twitter somebody had posted from like back in when Sammy was part of the Bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Solo actually called him to be like, I don't know if it was his tag partner or something.
Mm.
Sammy. He called for Sammy to go out with him. And the Usos didn't know that he was gonna do that.
Mm.
So there's like a little bit of like a long-term storytelling aspect to this.
Mm-hmm.
We are not getting a firmly NXT, pal. I'm sorry, that is not happening.
That is not on my. That is very much a Drew decision. That is not a me decision. I love NXT. It's actually much better than Raw and SmackDown.
If there's a firmly NXT, it will not involve.
I do watch NXT, but yeah, Drew does not watch NXT. So
yeah, I need a break. I can't. I watch too much shit as it is. I will say that I think this is a bait and switch. I don't think that they're making it seem like Sammy is going to join Solo and the OG
100%.
But that's probably not
going to happen. Not going to happen. No.
So
it's intriguing though. I like see like, and again, when I see that, and I see the leader of that bloodline, Solo, going out of his way to go over to Raw to talk to Sammy, that makes me believe that Roman's going to show up on Raw here at some point, and he's going to apologize. That's where I'm getting the Roman vibes, because I think that's going to happen. But I liked it. That was the one part of Raw that was good, was the Sammy stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Sandy, I give you and JPJ my blessing. If you want to do firmly NXT together,
we'll see.
Fine.
We'll see. If anything, my thing is with NXT though, like I love NXT. It's really good. I just never watch it live. I always watch it after the fact. I never watch it live because there are some nights that I want to not have to watch wrestling. And I watch wrestling live on Mondays. I watch wrestling live on Wednesdays. I watch wrestling live on Fridays. And most of the time I watch wrestling live
on Saturday.
Yeah. Most of the time, not most of the time nowadays, because Collision is just brutal. But I would say still like 60 to 70% of the times I watch wrestling live on Saturday. And then if there's a PLE like this weekend, I'm watching wrestling live Saturday afternoon from 1 to 5. And then I'm watching wrestling live 3 hours later at 8. And then if there's a pay-per-view on Sundays sometimes for AEW, I'm watching wrestling live on Sunday. So Tuesdays are one of the few nights that are free of not free on the wrestling calendar as a whole, but free from my wrestling calendar. So I can,
if you want NXT content, it's out there.
Oh yeah. We used to have it here. If there were more people that were interested in doing NXT, like I think an NXT post show would kill on our channel. I just don't know if there's anybody that wants to do it. So Sandy, if you're the guy, reach out, man. Reach out.
Talk to Spencer about it, and maybe we make it happen.
Reach out, man. But anyway, all right, we got to get out of here. Kind of the news that broke right before the show threw this show into flux.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Lauren.
We started talking about the wrestling way later than intended, so we've run a little over.
My boss can I just say, so I've got to.
Yeah, in general, can you guys make your TV shows better? Because the last couple of weeks in both these companies has sucked. So can we get it together here? I know it's the slow part of the wrestling calendar. Can we get it together? Because these shows have not been that great the last few weeks on both companies. So if we can turn it around here, I would appreciate it. Please. I would appreciate it. Drew, let the people know where they can find you.
While it still exists, you can follow me at the Drew Nicholas on Twitter/X. At the Drew Nicholas right there, as it says. And I do have a Blue Sky. I don't remember the password for it. Eventually, maybe I'll jump on it. Maybe I'll get threads at some point. I don't know. I have no idea how that works. I'm old. So catch me there for now on Twitter. Catch me Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast, where tomorrow on the Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast, we usually do a trivia. Our guy who does trivia is not in on Wednesday. I will be doing a wrestling Halloween edition
Wow, that's fancy.
I will be hosting that. I am curating the questions for that. So you can follow Roundtable Pro Wrestling. Just go to my Twitter, my bio, everything's there. And then collecting the super chats and humper chats for the AEW Collision post show that Fightful does every Saturday night with Rick Crest and Iridian. So enjoy your Halloween. Watch it.
We're going to be live
see you
on
on Halloween.
Yeah,
we're not doing a costume thing this year. I guess.
we haven't talked about it, but I mean, it is on Halloween. So
yeah,
if we are doing it, we need to make that decision soon.
Yeah, like yesterday.
Like today. Yeah, like last week we probably should have. But yes, I have 2 shows on Halloween, so I don't know if I'm doing costumes for beards. I have no idea. But yes, we will see you here at 10 a.m. on Halloween, Thursday morning, talking AEW, Dynamite, and all that
Fright
fun
Night
stuff.
Dynamite.
Huh? Yes, it is Fright Night. So we will be talking Halloween-themed Dynamite on Halloween, Thursday at 10 a.m. Thursday night, 8 p.m. every Thursday night. Me and Pluggo, the flagship here at Love Wrestling, Between Two Beards. And you can follow me at JPJ Loves Gaming on all social media platforms, including YouTube and Twitch. But yeah, that's where you can find us. Follow us here at Love Wrestling. We got a bunch of great shows for Exposure, the Sunday Brunch, LPW at the end of the months every Friday, some great independent wrestling. I don't know if anybody got to see the Mars the Specialist versus Blake Christian heavyweight championship match from this past LPW show last Friday. If you have not, whenever it gets released on our YouTube, go watch that match. That is one of the best matches in the history of our company. That match was incredible. So go out of your way to watch that match whenever it gets edited and is released on our YouTubes, because you will not regret it. That match was incredible. But anyway, for Drew, for me, appreciate all you guys as always in the chat. We'll see y'all on Thursday at 10. But until then, y'all know the drill. Peace out.